in the South American country. Secretary of State Rubio says not until we're sure that Venezuela is no longer involved in narco-terrorism.
Until they address it, they will continue to face this oil quarantine. They will continue to face pressure from the United States. We will continue to target drug boats if they try to run towards the United States. We will continue to seize the boats that are sanctioned with court orders. We will continue to do that and potentially other things.
Secretary Rubio on NBC's Meet the Press. Maduro and his wife are making their first court appearance today in New York. Maduro has been indicted on drug trafficking, narco-terrorism, and other charges. His wife is under indictment as well. Maduro's vice president, Delcy Rodriguez, is now Venezuela's interim president. President Trump says Rodriguez could end up worse off than Maduro if she doesn't cooperate with the U.S.
We have a very sick neighbor. It's not a neighbor, but it's close to a neighbor, and that's Venezuela. It's very sick. Colombia is very sick, too, run by a sick man who likes making cocaine and selling it to the United States.
And Mr. Trump says Cuba could be the next dictatorial domino to fall. The president being urged to give up on his Greenland dreams.
After announcing over the weekend that the U.S. would run Venezuela after removing its president, Donald Trump reiterated his wish to take control of Greenland. He told reporters, quote, "We need Greenland from a national security situation." Denmark's prime minister said a U.S. takeover makes absolutely no sense and that America has no right to annex any of the three countries in the Danish kingdom. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Ahead of the opening bell on Wall Street, the Dow futures are up 14 points. NASDAQ futures ahead 181. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Candles were lit on Bondi Beach by families, by children, by people of faith to celebrate a festival of light, a festival from Bible times, one that Jesus himself celebrated, but instead of light, there was darkness, violence, fear, hatred, showing itself at a time meant for prayer and rejoicing. You know, it's times like this that remind us that even with a ceasefire in Israel, Jewish people are being targeted simply because of their faith. And at times like this, it also reminds us why the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews exists, to stand in the gap, providing safety and security to God's people. The fellowship brings together Christians and Jews to be a light to suffering Jews in Israel, the former Soviet Union, or wherever the needs are greatest. Today, Jewish people around the world face these threats and are so grateful for their Christian friends who stand with them. To find out how you can take part in this holy work, visit urgentifcj.org. That's one word, urgentifcj.org.
Clearly, nothing in Ukraine is immune from attack by the Russians, military or civilian. The nature of the target doesn't matter, as evidenced by one of the latest attacks on Ukraine's capital city.
Ukraine authorities say one person was killed and at least 3 injured as a result of a Russian strike on a medical facility in Kyiv in the early hours of Monday. The State Emergency Service reported that 25 people had had to be evacuated from the medical facility that operated an inpatient ward. Video footage shows damage inside the facility and first responders evacuating an injured patient. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky says Russia used 165 drones overnight against Ukraine, adding our partners must remember that air defences are needed daily. Funds for the production of interceptor drones are needed daily, and energy equipment is also needed. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
News and analysis at townhall.com. As protests over the crumbling economy continue across Iran, there's no lack of speculation about what the fall of the current regime would mean for the country and the wider Middle East. Dr. Michael Oren is a former Israeli ambassador to the U.S.
I don't want to be Pollyannish. There are many, many steps that have to occur, and you're still going to have to deal with Islamic extremism of the Sunni stripe. You have to deal with Al-Qaeda and ISIS. And the Muslim Brotherhood and Hamas. They're still around, and they're being supported by other people, other countries other than Iran. You're still going to have your challenges, but it could be an amazing, major breakthrough.
Ambassador Oren speaking with the Salem Radio Network. The Secret Service says a man who broke windows at Vice President Vance's Ohio home and caused other property damage has been detained. 2 law enforcement officials say the man broke a window with a hammer, tried to get into the house. The home in Cincinnati's Walnut Hills neighborhood was unoccupied. Vance and the family were not in Ohio. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here? promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The demolition, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio. Yeah!
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy 2026, everybody.
Happy New Year! Merry New Year!
Yes, kind of the back to the grind for almost everybody. Kids go back tomorrow, but they're getting ready, Jason.
And boy, were mine quick to rub that in my face.
Yeah.
They're like, yep, no one more day off, Dad. I'm like, yeah, I know. Shut up.
But the teachers and everything, they're back today.
It's teacher in-service day. It was actually kind of funny. I was at a convenience store before I got here this morning, and the guy behind the counter was just like dumbfounded. He's like, I don't get it. It's like, I've been here for, I was here every day for the last like 2 weeks, and it just seems like, where are all the cars coming from? I'm like, everybody's going back to work now. We had 2 weeks of distended holidays where every day is like, are we done yet? Is the holiday break over yet? Have we been holly enough yet?
Put more
jolly.
You put a few more fried burritos on the roller there. There's going to be more people coming in today.
It was such a weird, like having both holidays be on a Thursday was such a weird stretch because there was chunk of week on either side of the holiday itself.
It did kind of extend the holiday feel for an extra few days. Yeah. So I think, that being said, I think by and large, many people are like, I'm kind of ready to get back to the normal routine today. And I'm kind of that way. I'm kind of like, yes. And then I'm kind of looking like, oh, man, I got a lot to do this week. So
that's the problem is we've had the 2 weeks off, and now it's like, oh, all right. It's time to – chickens have come home to roost.
Yeah. And, of course, it was – I ain't going to lie. It was kind of a busy weekend of news, obviously, with the capture Maduro and all that. And that kind of went down over the weekend. And that was – I remember – was that Saturday that
it was
kind of went on?
Friday into Saturday morning.
Yeah, because I remember getting up at like 3 a.m. to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And, of course, I got on my phone for a minute, and then there was like, Trump is capturing Maduro. I'm like, whoa.
What's funny is I saw something about it, and I said, I'll deal with this tomorrow. I went back to sleep because I did the same thing. I had to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, and then and sure enough, then it kind of blew up, and then all the details and everything came out. And the part that I will just I don't want to, because everybody and their uncle's going to be talking about it on the radio today, and so I'm not going to spend a bunch of time on it. You got your opinions and all this. I will say this. I have spent much of the weekend seeing everyone's opinions on it on social media, both for and against, and they're adamant and arguing on either side, and all I can say is all of you are wrong and all of you are right. All of you are right more than all of you are wrong, but it is about oil, and it is about the Venezuelan people all at the same time.
This is something that I was trying to explain to people over the weekend. I literally said this to somebody. I said, you do understand that two things can be right. Right?
Yeah.
Two things can be right at the same time. Yes, the extrajudiciousness of it all, probably needs to be called into question, and some answers need to be had there. That being said, Maduro, bad dude. Didn't need to be doing what he was doing. Both things can be true simultaneously.
Well, and I hate to, and this is humanity, folks. This is, you wish it weren't the case, but this is how people are. Unless it's to the advantage of other people to take care and save or do something like this, that's the only way they're going to do it. The United States, say what you will, Trump is, he's going to make a bunch of money for oil companies and his folks. to get this done. And at the end of the day, the Venezuelan people are going to get their oil back and get their money back and be able to build their own government.
I'll say this. I will say
But the U.S. is going to make a lot of money doing it. And that's all I'm telling you.
I admire the fact that for a good solid year and a half, we watched George W. and his team jump through so many hoops to justify Iraq.
Yeah.
Trump's just come out and said, "Yeah, it's war for oil."
Yeah.
I mean, I will give him that. If nothing else, has had the bluntness to come out and just say it.
He's a businessman. Be it a good one, a bad one. I'll let you all debate those opinions. But that's at the end of the day, he's thinking that way, and that's how he thinks, and he's doing this the exact same way. And he's gonna. Now I'm gonna tell you, the oil companies are gonna come back and be like, "Well, we're gonna spend a bunch of money getting this stuff back to where it was." And he's like, "Yeah, but you're gonna make on the back," and he's gonna cut them tax breaks to do all that. And at the end of the day, they're gonna get. And the other part is that militarily, this strengthens our nation. Venezuela, when we used to get a bunch of oil from them, then they went to communist, and then eventually to dictatorship when the communist thing didn't work out. And over that course of time, Russia, China became the biggest buyers of their oil. So basically, what Trump just did is said, "I'm going to cut your supply and take it back." And now, don't get me wrong, Russia and China, they got other sources, but Venezuela is a big producer, and now that's and whatever strengthens yourself and weakens your enemies, a thing that's. I mean, this is Art of War and the Art of the Deal. Read his books. This is what it is. Go read Art of War. Go read Art of the Deal, and what you just saw.
For what it's worth, he didn't write Art of War.
No, he didn't write that, but he read it. So read that.
He had it read to him, I believe.
I'm sure. Whatever. Audiobook. I don't know, but he's aware of it. Got it on his Kindle or whatever. I don't know, but that's what's going on here, and to be honest, this is Noriega, Panama, Gaddafi, Libya. Take a page right out of the same playbook, man.
I was in preschool when all those went down, so I don't really have much of an opinion there.
Get on your Google machine and read about those.
That's the scary thing. Don't get on Google. Google lies to you.
Well, get a bunch of Google.
Go past the AI overview. Let's just put it that way. Go past AI overview. It lies to you half the time.
Yeah. So it is. Yes, it's all of the things you were saying. It is about oil, and it is great for the Venezuelan people at the end of the day. So what comes next, we'll see. But this is what we do, and this is like you said, people's like, who's running the government now? And yeah, we are. We're going to do it until Trump finds the people that he can trust, and as at the moment, it's the vice president. I don't know how much longer that's going to stay that way, but for the moment, that's what's going on. But that's what they're doing.
On a much more important note, Stranger Things finally wrapped up.
And I'm caught up. I am officially done with Stranger Things.
Well,
I've watched it, and
they're not done with you. That's the thing. There's plenty more cash in this cow. There's going to be some spin-offs. I heard about the animated spin-off, which is supposed to be set between the events between season 2 and season 3.
Yeah.
But there's also, I guess, a live action spin-off series. I'm not sure following who or whom. I'm not sure if it's a in-between-quel, a prequel, or a sequel. I'm not real sure.
Well, I can tell you this. I'm not going to make a statement like, no kidding, Mike.
Well,
Stranger Things is kind of a big deal, but this is how you know it's a big deal.
Right.
Is everyone talks about how they love it, but everyone bashes how things end and that's the epitome of a great show, because guess what? Every other show that's been like in that, your Breaking Bad, your Better Call, same thing. People shred it. They talk about how they love it and shred it online. One little part. Oh, come on. I'm supposed to. Like, you're literally talking about multiple dimensions of underworld, and then they're saying, how can this girl do this at one point? Like, come on, now you're starting to nitpick.
They had to wrap up like 47 different storylines. And that was actually my question to you was, were you satisfied with the ending?
Mostly. I thought it was good. I kind of liked the whole, I don't want to say it without, like how they ended it with the game and sitting in the, but I see more people analyze putting the books back on the shelf than any other thing I've seen in the, I don't, all you folks that say you're not conspiracy theorists, then you're sitting here counting letters on books.
I try to put the letters together, and those letters are an anagram that when moved around, it's like, all right.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that there is stuff like that in series.
Yeah, but I think people are just looking to do it now.
Here's the thing. I would much rather have much more attentive people online figure it out for me, so I can just go watch a YouTube video later.
I am kind of like, I liked how they ended it, but I hated that they open-ended you on it, where they said, you know what, yeah, it's over, but maybe it's not.
They open-ended you to a point.
Yeah.
You know what I didn't do, and maybe I need to go back and relook. Is there anything post-credits?
I don't recall seeing it.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of think I did stay just to see, and
all right.
And I stayed until the thing popped up and said, "What's not next to watch?" And I said, "Okay, it's probably nothing." They gave me that,
Right. Okay.
So I don't think so.
I will say the where are they now aspect of it all.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of dug that.
Yeah.
Like I like the idea that they could maybe take this. The one thing that felt a little like kind of to me was. And I said this, the way I said this was when the olds get together.
Yeah.
And what I mean is when Robin and Steve and they all kind of get together after the fact and they're just kind of sitting around and like, that to me felt way too like Saved by the Bell, the new class. Like it felt shoehorned in.
Well, I think they needed it because you needed a closure with them.
Yeah, they had to wrap those stories up for sure.
You couldn't stick them in the D&D game with the younger kids.
Right.
It just didn't. So, all right, we're going to put them on the roof with beers at the radio station.
What they should have done,
and
this would have been satisfying for me, is if they could have gotten Richard Dreyfuss to come in and just cut the end "Where Are They Now" narration.
Yeah.
As each one of them just faded away. That would have been a very satisfying ending.
Well, and the one thing I finally got was now I know the exact timeline, like as far as age and where they would.
Right.
So in the time of me, because this is what we do. We put me in
the time of chimpanzees.
So the main Mike and those guys are 2 years older than me.
Okay.
Because they graduate in 89.
Yes.
I graduated in 91.
That put the
so they're two. So I'm in between the older brothers and the main characters.
Gotcha.
I'm like right in the middle between those two.
Okay. So you were. I would argue that you are kind of the target demo for the show.
Like I wonder
people who spent a good portion in the 80s.
I would be I would have been. I think I would have been one of Vecna's kids. Like that. I would have been that age. Maybe a little bit older.
I think that Vecna would have strapped me to the wall.
Hey, we got Jerry's kids, Vecna's kids. Let's have a telethon.
That was.
All right, let's do Henry's kids if you want to make it more safe, more family.
I don't want to spoil or anything or give anything away. At least not for another week. I want to discuss this fully within like a week. But I will say I loved Nancy's involvement in the final fight scene.
Yeah,
like that her role was great.
Well, and it's funny because she kind of goes Rambo.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, have you seen the commercial?
No.
There's a commercial for, I don't even remember what the commercial's for, but it's Stranger Things. Mm-hmm. And so it's her character basically asking for firearms and guns. And like, do you got the, I can't remember what the commercial was. For Amazon or something, but I don't know.
I do have an answer to your quip last week.
Yes.
About Homegirl's hair.
Yes.
As I kind of went back and watched, especially the final episode, I figured out why it stayed the way it stayed.
Why is that?
Because if you notice in the finale, her hair has completely changed.
Yeah.
She has a permanent, man. It's permanent. You think permanents are going to... It's a perm, bro.
I figured between the ecto goos, whatever, all the stuff floating around, it put out a curl. You know what I'm saying?
The baby gravy ring. But no, I think that the reason it stayed perfect was because it was before she went on this adventure, she had it permed so it would stay that way.
Well, I want her girl because good job. You pretty much went through Armageddon and your perm's still tight.
Well, so. Yeah. And in the 18 months later, it's a little. In the 18 months later, she's gone to a complete lesbian cut.
Yeah.
Which I thought was like, that's different.
Well, and let's face it, I think that accentuates the 80s trope of movies. Because anytime you show powerful women go through a thing, when they show them at the end, they cut the hair and they look a little, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A la G.I. Jane.
Right.
I think that's the MO
symbol.
for 80s type.
She cut off her battle locks.
Yeah. But, I enjoyed it. was it the perfect ending? No.
Yeah, I feel like there's a couple of things they probably could have done that would have left it more satisfying for people.
But overall, it was a nice cap on a good series. I thought it was good, and I would say it does, if they so choose, to say, all right, let's check in with these people as adults and let's see where they go from there. And now one of the other kids have like, I don't know, one of them have an offspring and and it all starts over again.
I just don't want to hear in 10 years that one of the cast members of Stranger Things is in a subway tunnel, playing money for, like, Gaten Matarazzo is playing the accordion in Grand Central Station.
Hopefully they get good accountants, because I'm sure they all made enough money they don't have to the rest of their life.
Yeah.
All right, let me give you the rundown. We're going to replay this hour with Katie and Tamara from the Extension Office. Quick interview there. In the 8 o'clock hour, we're going to replay our interview with District Attorney Diana Luce and Justin Dominguez. They joined us back on the 18th. Had a great conversation with them. And then John and Crystal Noble, definitely John, probably Crystal as well, joining us from Roswell Seed, give us an update what there. And, of course, this time of the year, I don't know. I'm not a garden guy, but I know with the winter months, there's a lot of getting things ready for springtime. So they'll tell you all about that stuff. Plus, we'll have all of your newses of the local, national variety, Wall Street business updates, sports, and all that good stuff as well. Before we do any of that, though, let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. A little breezy today, especially around the Carlsbad area. Wind at 15 to 25 miles an hour. We'll be getting sunshine, though, nice and warm, low 70s on today's high. Overnight, a few clouds, and we're in the mid and upper 30s, and then slightly cooler on Tuesday, but still pretty nice. We'll have sunshine, mid 60s on the high, turning cloudy on Wednesday, about 65. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 35 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 72%. Winds are calm at the moment. Nice day today. Sunny skies and a high of 72. Winds will be out of the south at 5 to 10 miles per hour. I'm not going to lie. It's a little warm in this room, and I'm already regretting wearing a long-sleeve shirt. So today's going to be fun. Tonight, partly cloudy. Overnight low of 35. West winds at around 5 miles per hour. Tuesday, mostly sunny, mid-60s tomorrow, 66 for a high with south winds at around 5 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy, overnight low of 34. Wednesday, partly cloudy and 67. Winds out of the south at around 5 miles per hour. Wednesday night, we are looking at a 30% chance of showers after 11, mostly cloudy, overnight low of 41. Thursday, we're looking at a 30% chance of showers before 11, so between 11 p.m. and 11 a.m. Wednesday night into Thursday, we've got rain chances. Mostly sunny, 64 otherwise on Thursday. Thursday night, mostly cloudy, overnight low of 35. Cooler on Friday. We'll be in the mid-50s. Sunny and 56 on Friday. That will carry over into Saturday, sunny and 56 as well. Sunny and 54 on Sunday. So enjoy your 72 today. The week will gradually cool off, and we'll settle into the 50s for the weekend here, it looks like. All right, it is 23 minutes after 7 o'clock. We're going to take a commercial break. We'll also have your Roswell Livestock report with Smiley Wooten from the Roswell Livestock Auction there. Back having their first auction for the 2026 year today, so we'll get that report for you. And then on the other side, we'll play our interview with the folks from the Extension Office. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Artesia General Hospital presents seasonal wellness reminders for you and your family. This time of year brings cozy sweaters, warm meals, and a few health challenges. Start by preventing colds and flu. Get vaccinated, wash hands regularly, and avoid touching your face when you're out in public. Find balance in holiday eating. Fill your plate with vegetables and lean proteins before reaching for the sweets. And fight dry winter skin by moisturizing often, staying hydrated, and running a humidifier if your home feels dry. Small choices add up to a healthier, happier season. These healthy living reminders are brought to you by Artesia General Hospital, ready to help take care of you and your family.
Looking to start, continue, or complete your higher education journey? Join the more than 6,000 fellow Greyhounds on their journey to student success. Eastern New Mexico University offers the most affordable higher education degree in the Southwest, and New Mexico residents can go to school tuition-free with the New Mexico Opportunity Scholarship. With online or in-person degrees, ENMU is the right choice for you. For more information, visit enmu.edu. ENMU, student success. That's what we're about.
Innovation, service, integrity, and knowledge. J.S. Ward and Son Insurance Agency. Auto and home, life and health, personal and commercial. Bonds too, since 1925, we have the coverage for you. Innovation, service, integrity, and knowledge. J.S. Ward and Son Insurance Agency.
I retired earlier than I expected to, so I was no longer covered by health insurance through my business, and I was too young to qualify for Medicare. But thanks to Be Well, I found a health plan that keeps me covered until I'm eligible for Medicare.
Let Be Well find you a health plan during open enrollment period, now through January 15th. For free help, schedule an appointment at BeWellNM.com. What's the best that can happen?
Good morning, this is Smiley Wooten at the Roswell Livestock Auction. A good run for the start of the new year with a nice selection of all classes of cattle, especially high-quality native calves and light yearlings, high percentage weaned and condition. We expect to sell 1,550 head, breaking down like this: 125, 150 weight cows and bulls, 125, 150 pairs bred cows, 1,300, 1,350 calves and yearlings. Today's sale will include 35 bred cows, extra quality red and Charolais crossbred cows, bred to Angus bulls, cows 8 to 11 years old, 25 bred cows, excellent quality black white face, red white face English crosses, bred to Angus 4 to 10 years old, 33 calves Paradise Springs Ranch, Lincoln, New Mexico, excellent quality black white face Angus crossbred calves, cattle weaned 60 days, 3 rounds of shots, 400, 550 pounds, 62 calves and light yearlings, the MacGyver Ranch, Fort Davis, Texas, excellent quality black white face and white face Angus and Hereford crossbreds, 1 round of shots, 450, 700 pounds, 30 calves, Gatlin Lake Ranch, Springerville, Arizona, excellent quality black and red Angus crossbred calves, shots at Brandon, 250, 450 pounds, 76 calves and light yearlings, Bosque Bonita Ranch, Sierra Blanca, Texas, excellent quality black white face Angus crosses, 1 round of shots, 500, 750 pounds, 57 calves, Mr. Russell Freeman, Winston, New Mexico, excellent quality black white face Angus quality, replacement quality, cattle weaned 100 plus days, 2 rounds of shots, 400, 600 pounds, 70 calves, the Cane Ranch, TRC, New Mexico, excellent quality, mostly Charolais crossbred calves, cattle weaned 40 days, medium condition, 375, 550 pounds, 38 calves, A&K Land and Cattle Company, Hope, New Mexico, ex-quality black Angus cross calves, cattle weaned 70 days, thin to medium condition, 350, 450 pounds, and 60 calves, Klein Cattle Company, Marfa, Texas, ex-quality black Angus and Brangus crosses, cattle weaned 30 days, 500, 700 pounds, several smaller sets of high-quality native calves and light yearlings with condition. Sale time this morning will be at 9 o'clock. Sell pairs, bred cows, 9:45. Be selling calves and yearlings about 10:30. Fairly short on cows, be on breds, calves and yearlings pretty quick. We expect to sell 1,550 head today. Happy New Year. This is Smiley Wooten, Roswell Livestock Auction.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Due to extreme pressure and weather conditions, it literally rains diamonds on Neptune and Uranus. Stop snickering because I said Uranus. Here's Mike Winters.
And joining us in studio this morning from the Chavez County Extension Office, Katie Wright and Tamara Schubert back with us. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
In unison, cheery. Look at
We
that.
try.
That's
We
so
try.
great. Well, good news is, after years of chit-chatting about it and talking about it, you guys have mostly moved into the new offices and everything. So
We are. So our day-to-day operations are at the new location.
yeah,
That's
so if you need something, go there.
1610 Southeast Main Street. So if you're familiar with the area, we're in the same parking lot as I Associates and Senior Olympics.
Nice.
But we are the very southwest building. They're still working on signage. So if you get lost, you have to call.
There you go.
But not our regular office number because we will have a new one.
Gotcha. Which,
Yeah.
but if you're near the Senior Olympics and I Associates, you're in the ballpark.
Yes. Start knocking on doors. We'll get you there.
Just start knocking on. Hi, you at the extension office? No, they're 2 doors down.
We've got some super friendly neighbors, so it'll work.
Oh, good. It'll be good. And looks convenient, I mean, hey, I can go work on my glasses. I can walk right over next door. But if you do need, because obviously we're getting here with the holidays and things kind of quiet down over the Christmas break here. But 2026, you guys kind of hit the ground running with new classes, just the kind of the New Year activities and stuff. So now's the time to sign up for a lot of stuff. If you want to get in on some of these classes that start here in the first part of the year, don't wait till the first part of the year to do that. Come by the office or call and get signed up and get going on this. So because they fill up I know your cooking sensations classes and the year-long, I can't remember the name of it right now, the year-long diabetes class, those fill up fast, and so you kind of got to sign up in advance. But they're very good. That's why they fill up fast, because you learn a wealth, and you really learn how to deal with diabetes in a way that's, an enjoyable life instead of, checking boxes every day and making sure your blood sugar's this or that. And I can't, that cookie I can't eat that because it doesn't, you start getting intimidated by a bowl of cereal all of a sudden.
So we are doing what used to be the Prevent T2 program. So it's more general health, wellness, and prevention of chronic diseases this year. So we'll have some more cooking demonstrations, some more guest speakers, some more general health information, but still focused on wellness and nutrition.
More fun to be at.
Yes, absolutely. So that one does kick off on January the 6th at 4 o'clock. So the classes will be on Tuesdays from 4 to 5. The first quarter of the year, we do meet every week, and then we kind of start weaning off after that. But do call the office and RSVP, and I say call. The best way to get us right now is email, unless you have our cell phone numbers.
Yeah.
Until they're hoping to get us a phone number this week.
Knock on wood.
But the best way to really get us is that chavis@nmsu.edu email.
Good. And I know you guys check the Facebook pages pretty regularly too. So if you're a Facebook user and do that frequently, you can shoot a message through there, and you guys will answer whatever question you got there. So, or if you want to sign up for anything or ask about one of the extension clubs or 4-H or any of that stuff, they'll be happy to do, or any ag-related stuff. So, Spider, I know, speaking of that, are they in a hunt for a new...
We're still hunting for a new ag agent, so anybody out there that loves to do plants, bugs, and all the things, they need to come work with us.
And the dirt that connects them.
Yes. Yeah. So we are still looking for an ag agent. They just recently extended it, so it's set to close again in January. So be on the lookout for that. Yeah. Encourage your friends to apply. We really appreciate it. But while we're on ag, we are still, having several conferences and things like that.
Yeah, the work doesn't end, even though there's not an agent in place per se. But,
so the annual Hay Conference is still going to take place in Ruidoso this year on January the 21st through the 23rd. And there are special rates if you get reserved, turned in your registration before the end of the year.
So if the early bird does get the worm on this one.
Yeah, so they can register at nmhay.com, and that's also the time that our cotton growing conference is going on up there too.
Excellent.
So
by the way,
check out both of those.
HAY, not HEY.
Yeah.
So don't be like, hey, it's not that common. Hey, it's not that common. Hay as in,
crops.
Straw hay.
Yeah.
Just in case anybody was confused. Like, I'm here for the hay convention. Hey, y'all, I'm here for the... No,
just to socialize.
Oh, that'd be an interesting meetup.
You may learn a few new things. Yeah, you may learn a few new things.
Yeah.
The other thing that's going on that side is they are still taking Master Gardener applications for the upcoming year.
Great.
So those classes start off again in January. And it's really a great opportunity for anybody that's interested in gardening to come join us.
Yeah, I got kind of in trouble because I kind of unintentionally made it seem more intimidating than it should be. And what I'm trying to say is that, no, they want everyone and anyone can do it, but they teach you so much about gardening.
Absolutely.
It is so in-depth and so thorough that, it's not just your run-of-the-mill, put a seed in the dirt, put some water on it. It's a lot. You learn a lot more than that stuff. So, but that being said, it's for everyone and anyone. Please do not make it. I not want to give the impression that I was like an exclusive club or anything like that.
Well, and it's a great group. It's the same group that does the Triangle Garden out there at Cahoon Park, and they do a lot of community service around. So they do gardening at the library, which we will be at. the Saturday this month that happens to be gardening at the library is
Matter of
also
fact-
the library is huge. The Grinch Stole Christmas.
Yeah, come if you want to
we
learn
will be out
more.
there doing crafts and things like that, garden related with the kiddos. So you can come join us, meet us, do things. But
Matter
it's
of fact,
a great
that'd be the
group
good way to
group.
find out this class is for you. Is come to their thing on the library Saturday.
Visit with our master
and say,
gardeners.
hey, yeah, talk, and they say, yeah, this is cool. I'm going to sign up for that. That way you can go talk right directly to the people that are going to be in the dirt with you.
Quite literally.
But yeah, it is. I know they were kind of. I was like, no, that's not what I was trying to say. I was trying to talk them up, and it came off like I was talking like they're too elite for us or something. That's not what I was trying to do. So I apologize. But anyway, but yeah, go check it out, please. The brownest of thumb can turn green with those folks.
The great classes, great information, and it's a good way to give back to your community.
Absolutely, good deal. What else we got on the radar?
So we talked nutrition. So extension clubs, as always. Yeah. So we've got 4 clubs, and really, come January, we'll have 6 clubs. We've got 2 new ones going. So if y'all had been interested in quilting but happen to be on the wait list, we do have another quilt group that's starting up. They're meeting the second Saturday of every month at 10.
Okay.
So that one's up. If they're interested, they're welcome to call the office. And then we have a sewing one that's starting up too by popular demand.
Great.
That one's going to meet the second Tuesday of every month at 11 a.m.
Take both and learn the difference between
Yeah.
sewing and quilting. Because some people don't realize there's a difference. And then we'll start a crochet club and really blow your mind.
All right. That one's next.
But yeah, and this is the cool part about Extension Club is, and like we talk about each month, it's kind of like 4-H for adults here, where yes, we have clubs, and these are all community-driven, community put together, basically based on interest. We had a collective of people said, you know what, we're into quilting, let's start a quilting extension club. You know what about sewing? Yeah, we got some folks who want to do sewing, and so there's 6 clubs now. There's room for more.
Absolutely.
If you're interested, if you have a hobby or a skill set of folks that would like to do it in kind of a social thing, and it could be anything from a chess club to woodworking club to I don't know, coffee club. I don't know. The sky's the limit on what you do on this. It's just if you have an interest and a chance to maybe meet some people and turn this into as much as a hobby, but as a social chance to connect with people and chance to make some friends and things like that. That's what this is all about. And by the way, we get to learn about quilting or sewing or whatever the theme is for that particular club here. So if you're interested in starting one, or maybe you have maybe there's someone going, I'm a stamp collector and I want to see if there's other stamp collectors out there. Let's talk about it. Maybe there's an interest. So reach out to the extension office here. I almost said reach out to the extension club, the extension office, and let's see what happens here. And then of course, for the younger folks, there is actual 4-H, which again has many clubs there too, but it too can evolve as well. If there's a group of kids that are into a particular event and there's an adult that can kind of supervise it, then we can create that 4-H club too. So the possibilities are endless in 4-H too. So, but any updates for 4-H we want to mention right now?
So this Friday at 9 o'clock, we will be at the library in Hagerman.
Okay.
We are painting bird houses, but I painted mine to be a gingerbread house. So you can paint a gingerbread house too. Whatever you're feeling.
Bird house?
Yes. all the things. All the things. We had somebody make theirs a mountain. Somebody was talking about making a clown tent. Possibilities are endless. Use your imagination.
That's what it's about. And you guys do that. It's the third Friday of every month.
In Hagerman.
Typically, yes. There's a few that schedule didn't line up, and it has to be a different Friday.
But roughly around there.
Yes.
So. But it will be the third Friday this Friday.
Absolutely.
What time do you guys do that out the library?
9 o'clock.
9 a.m. So come out, bring the kids, and be ready to be creative.
Absolutely. And then we will start back in January with our 4-H Day at the library here on the second Wednesday.
Very good. And again, very similar, like the one there. It's each month is different.
Yes.
Craft
I think January is the origami.
I think so.
Ooh, some folding. I always like.
It's not near as hard as you think it is.
I know. That's what it is. It's kind of like. I don't mean to compare this, but this is the only reference I got. I remember when I was a kid and used to fold the little games.
What the kids call the cootie catchers.
Yeah. I mean, to me, that's like entry-level origami. You know?
Paper airplanes are entry-level origami.
Yeah, exactly. And I remember, I remember as a kid, and this was probably like early kindergarten level, and me and my two friends that lived up the street, we literally spent all day. Back in the day, they used to give like the Montgomery Ward or Sears catalogs, and it'd be like, you know how thick those things were, like real thick. Well, we made paper airplanes out of every one of those pages, and God forbid our parents are so mad because there's about 10 of them stuck up on the roof of the house. And then, of course, when it rains and all that goes. But I spent a good year of my life making paper airplanes and everything. And we had one of my friends, he was really good at making, like, the one that looked like a bat. And, like, all I could do was the standard and just hope the wings were the evil on the other side. Yeah. But he could make different ones, and it was like a whole... He was a whole match. But anyway.
It's a whole thing.
Origami. That's what
Origami in January, both in Roswell and in Hagerman. We are in open enrollment, so you still have plenty of time to get signed up and compete this summer. You can sign up anytime, but there are some deadlines to meet as far as making your club meetings and that kind of thing before you're able to compete.
Absolutely. Yeah, you got to, they just don't dive right into the competitions and things. You got to. What's the earliest that a youth can start in the 4-H program?
So our Clover Buds start at 5.
Okay, and they go all the way up to, 18 or
18, 19, depending on when your birthday falls.
Very good. So, and you can jump in at any time during that time.
Absolutely.
So even if you're 14 or 15, you're just now getting into 4-H. Well, it's good time as any. Come on in and let's do that. And by the way, 4-H, yes. If livestock and farm animal, everything you see at the fair with that and the home ec, that's very, very much the core of 4-H. But by no means is that all of 4-H. There are extension clubs. There's 4-H clubs that have nothing to do with animals and things like. There's things with computers, shooting sports.
We did rocketry last night.
Rocketry, yeah. So 4-H is for really anybody with finding interest for youth here. Yes. There is a lot of roots in the livestock industry and stuff, sure. But it's by all means, you don't have to be a farmer or rancher or a child of a farmer or rancher to benefit from the 4-H program. So come learn about it. Come to a meeting. Maybe it's rockets you're into, maybe it's shooting sports, or maybe it's computers, whatever that is. And by all means, if you're into raising animals and animal husbandry and all that, then guess what? We got you. So. What, did I goof up?
When you said raising husbands, and then you went back.
Yeah. Raising husbands, that's not a bad...
I make no comments
here. Raising husbands. Someone's like, well, where's that club? We need to turn that.
It's far too funny.
I'm thinking, I think I just started your new extension club.
There you go, Rosie. Yep.
I don't know that we have a specialist for that.
I think you got a bunch of them. They got a whole panel.
It's a good thing my husband's working.
They have a master's degree in that.
Yes.
It's family therapy.
Yeah, I believe you can call me doctor on this one. But joking aside, yes, all of that is definitely part of 4-H, and so if you're interested, please, come reach out, come learn about when the next club meeting that interests you is near you and happening. And like you said, if you really do want to show animals and stuff, now's the time. If you want to do it for this year, you still got time, depending on, how old you are and what animals you're going to be raising and all that kind of, because I imagine some you probably already had to start.
Yes. You buy your animals at different times throughout the year.
Yeah.
So.
But I'm thinking like the smaller ones, like your chickens and whatnot, are probably
more. So right
now,
if you're looking at steers, you probably already invested in some of those. But some of the smaller animals, sheep and goats, you may March, April.
Okay.
Poultry, you're probably looking at
so pretty much anything but cows.
May, June. Mm-hmm. So far,
anything in the cow. What about swine, pigs?
Those are later.
Okay. I didn't know because I was like, beef
is pretty well the earliest.
Gotcha. Requires the more maintenance.
Right.
Although,
and it takes longer for them to get up to weight.
Yeah, pigs are pigs. The reason they call them pigs. But, and of course, I know we're not near fair season, but I always do like, since we're talking 4-H and stuff, when you do go out to the fairs and stuff, please, as much as we enjoy the rides and the commercial building, please equally hang out in the education building, the arts and crafts building, the livestock show ring. That's the true heart of the fair each year, and you get to see the coolest parts of the fair in those buildings right there. You get to see the most impressive things because you get to see these young men and women either showing animals or seeing the fruits of their labor in the arts and crafts building or education building. And I'm telling you, it's always 10 times more impressive. I don't know, every time it's like you could set your watch to it. You walk in there, the arts and crafts building, you look at these paintings like, wow, that's really great. And you look real close, some 8-year-old did it. And you're like, geez, Louise, that is impressive. You know? And so that's the real cool part of the fair each year, whether it's the Chavez County Fair or the Eastern New Mexico State Fair, or whatever it is. That's the sweetest part of it. So don't forget that part when you come out. I know we got a minute between all that. What else? Is there anything else we wanted to make sure we covered as far as extension stuff?
I think that's all on my list.
All for now.
Okay. Is there any of those, like we talked about the hay, but I know like with pesticides and all that, isn't it usually around the first of the year?
So we just got done with our pesticide training in November.
Okay.
We had that one. That's our annual.
Okay.
So the next one that we're going to be having up kind of locally is the Southeast Ranchers Workshop. And so I'll get with those ag agents and see which county is going to host it. We're in the very beginning planning stages on that one.
Some of that stuff is kind of going on too. But yeah, and of course, if you have any questions about that, like we said, best bet is to email the extension office, at least for the next several days till we get a phone number because of the transition of being in the new building. But the phone number, it's not like your cell phone. You don't get to carry that number over with you. They got to.
We tried, but it didn't work. So yeah, we'll have a new phone number, like I said, hopefully within the next day or two. But the best way to get us is that chavis@nmsu.edu. Yeah. And it's Chavis with an S. But that's the best way to get us
like
right
the
now.
county. That's if you're around here or not around these parts. You spell it with a Z. You're not from around these parts. Yeah. And then I always because I catch it with our news people and stuff, where because most of us say Chavez around here, but occasionally it gets them out to Chavez or Chavez County. And I'm like, you're not from around these parts. I'm not from around these parts, but I've been here for like 30 years now, so I'm around these parts enough to know
you count.
I can pretend. I know the difference between green chili and what it is. So, good deal. Again, and then, of course, don't forget, you can always go online on Facebook. Everything that the Extension Office is through New Mexico State University, so you'll see NMSU attached to it. So if you see that, don't be scared that you're in the right place. You're in the right place there. But if you type in Chavez County Extension, Chavez County, something like that, you'll see the stuff popping up. And if you can't remember emails or whatever, but you want to get a hold, that's a great way. Or say, hey, I heard y'all talking about 4-H this morning. Can you call me, tell me more about it? Reach out. They'll be happy to do that. And,
absolutely.
Are you guys having any special Christmas hours or anything like that?
So we're closed, I believe,
Christmas
the 25th and 26th.
and the day after.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, and then New Year's.
Very good.
So our admins are out because they observe NMSU. But Katie
They're on
and
spring
I,
break, Christmas
winter
break.
Yeah. So Katie and I will be in.
Good deal.
They get us.
Stop in, say hi. It's usually pretty slow. So.
I'm just saying, you guys are technically with NMSU. I'm like, look, I ain't even on holiday break. I'm just saying, I got to rest up too.
It's also the quiet time that Katie and I get some things done.
I know what's going on. Have y'all seen that commercial? Usually it's on during NFL Sunday football games. Like the office has to work on Sunday, but they all are like going to turn into a party. So one brings hot dogs, and they turn into one brings Peyton Manning, weirdly enough, and they have a big like football party at the office. That's what you guys are doing. You guys are like, you open the drawer.
I wish.
Well, and y'all are handy. You're like, I brought a pie. I brought a tablecloth. I got a spatula to serve this bad boy. I just feel like y'all could be doing that. Just you two.
I mean, if you wanted to taste test the recipes for your next classes, I'm in.
There you go. There we go.
I can be quality control.
But, and then, of course, please sign up. Ask about these. I'm telling you, if you're interested in signing up for these, do it now. January 6th, these filled up quick. And I know every year you guys have people in the spring. When's that class? And you're like, it's already happened.
It already happened.
And, don't be that person this year. Sign up now. Do it now. This is the time. Get it done. That way, January 6th rolls in. You're ready to eat and cook and learn. So, notice I said eat first. I know priority.
There you go.
Very good. good. Did we get it all? Is there anything we missed?
I think we're good.
Excellent. Well, ladies, have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and get some downtime. I know, like I said, it will be quiet. So, and I Katie mentioned something about don't want to cook. What do you do on the holidays? I mean, do you get to get out of cooking? Or no? Do you have to?
So it's just Ethan and I. So we can still go back to our mom's houses, and they are happy to cook.
Okay.
And
so
it's great.
You just go as a consumer.
I bring a deserter aside and call it a day.
Nice.
There you go.
You do work for the extension office. It would be rude not to bring something.
Right.
It's like, this is your job. You at least bring something, being this guy. What about you, Tam? Are you?
We usually go to Cody's parents' house.
Nice. So you get to just consume too.
That's an 8-hour drive for us. So we get out of taking things.
Your labor of love is making the drive.
But do you get there and feel obligated to muscle in the kitchen and do
sometimes we do.
Yeah, because that's kind of thing. Oh, can you stir this or can you, make the
I
eggs?
just need somebody to sit at the counter and talk to me while I cook.
There you go.
I can handle it if I have company.
To have someone sitting there, doing the thing. Occasionally, maybe handing you a spoon or something.
Right.
I got you. Not too bad. What's you guys have a go-to Christmas meal? I know, like a lot of people, Thanksgiving they kind of do the turkey and all that, but for Christmas, you guys have a family tradition or Christmas?
We usually do ham or prime rib.
That's kind of the go-to.
Cody's does prime rib.
Yeah, I think a lot of people go you go with the turkey. Like, look, I'm not doing another turkey, especially since Thanksgiving was late this year.
Mm-hmm.
So it feels like it was just Thanksgiving
we
last
still
week.
have some in the fridge.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of
I'm pretty sure I should have thrown it away.
You shouldn't.
But if you still have your turkey in the refrigerator from Thanksgiving, please dispose of that properly.
I don't have turkey, but I'm not going to lie. I threw away some sweet potatoes and stuffing over the weekend from Christmas. I'm not proud to say that.
From Christmas?
I mean, not Christmas.
Okay.
From Thanksgiving. From Thanksgiving.
Escalated
yes.
very
there
quickly.
There was some leftover. Yeah. Well, and this is my wife's fault. She does not understand that you do not need 50 pounds of dressing for a 10-pound bird. I'm just saying, she only knows how to make it. It's really good, but she only knows how to make it one size, and it's super sized. And
I am guilty of that as well.
And stick it in the freezer.
I'm like, yeah, just whatever the recipe says, half would be more than enough. But no, we need it. No. Every year we have 30 pounds of dressing and a 10-pound bird. And enough giblet and gravy. You know what I mean? There's not enough gravy to go for all that stuffing. You got to start inventing
So
more
it
gravy.
sounds like you need to get in the kitchen and help her make more gravy.
Or make less stuffing. Less stuffing. That's the thing. We don't need 80 pounds of stuffing. We don't need to stuff every, plate on the East Coast for this thing. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Old man yells at cloud. We'll talk to you guys. Merry Christmas, and we'll see you in 2026. And by then, you should have a phone number, hopefully.
Yes.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. What a difference a day makes in Venezuela. Didn't take long for the country's new leader, former Vice President, now acting President Delcy Rodriguez, to abandon the rhetoric directed at the U.S. She's now saying she is prepared to work with the United States following the U.S. military raid that captured President Nicolas Maduro. In 2020, Maduro was indicted by a federal grand jury on charges including narco-terrorism conspiracy and drug trafficking. Cuba says that 32 Cuban security officers were killed in the U.S. raid on Venezuela. Will embattled Minnesota Governor Tim Walz be abandoning his bid for re-election? There's been a lot of speculation ahead of a news conference he has planned for later today. On Wall Street, ahead of this morning's opening bell, stock futures modestly higher. More details at srnnews.com.
Welcome to the first full week of 2026. Today, let's look at the new tech that's going to be available to all of us this year. I'm Kim Commando for NetSuite. Companies are using AI to get ahead. Download your free Demystifying AI guide at netsuite.com/Kim. Okay, let's start with Apple. All industry insiders agree this is the year for the long-rumored foldable iPhone. Typical of Apple, there's nothing official. The new model will fold in half like a book and open into a mini 7.8-inch tablet. In fact, the big money is saying the phone will be called the iPhone Fold, naturally. And you can bet that this will be the most expensive iPhone ever. Think $2,000. And of course, it costs more if you want more storage. Look for a fall launch so you have 9 months to save up. It'll run on a slightly upgraded operating system to allow finally real multitasking. Tomorrow, more new tech for 2026. Join almost 1 million folks who get my free newsletter. Sign up at getkim.com. Every business is asking the same question. How do we make AI work for us? The possibilities are endless, and guessing is too risky. Sitting on the sidelines is not an option. Your competitors are already making their move. This is exactly the solution I'd turn to. With NetSuite by Oracle, you can put AI to work today. As the #1 AI cloud ERP, trusted by over 43,000 businesses, it brings your financials, inventory, commerce, HR, and CRM together into one single source of truth, making your AI smarter. It doesn't guess, it knows. It automates routine tasks, delivers insights, cuts costs, and powers fast AI decisions. Now with NetSuite's AI connector, you can take the AI you already trust and connect it straight to your business. This is not an add-on tool. It's built into the system that runs your business. NetSuite helps you stay ahead. Right now, get their free business guide, Demystifying AI, at netsuite.com/Kim. The guide is free at netsuite.com/Kim, netsuite.com/Kim.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. A little breezy today, especially around the Carlsbad area. Wind at 15 to 25 miles an hour. We'll be getting sunshine, though, nice and warm, low 70s on today's high. Overnight, a few clouds, and we're in the mid and upper 30s, and then slightly cooler on Tuesday, but still pretty nice. We'll have sunshine, mid 60s on the high, turning cloudy on Wednesday, about 65. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
It's time for the Chaves County Sports Report. Yes, we have some rare Monday night basketball tonight, and it should be a good one. The Roswell Coyotes hosting the Las Cruces Bulldogs. Well, we can't say anymore that it's the unbeaten Las Cruces Bulldogs because Las Cruces just fell. Their first game of the season, their first loss, was at Cleveland on Saturday in Rio Rancho, 69-61. Nevertheless, Las Cruces is 11-1 overall. Roswell is 7-5, having won 4 of their last 5, including a 53-50 victory over Goddard on New Year's Eve. Game time, 6 o'clock tonight. Meanwhile, it was close all the way on the road for the Goddard Rockets, but the Rockets fell to the Valencia Jaguars 38-37 on Saturday. Goddard is now 5-5 on the season. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. Tesla has lost its crown as the world's best-selling electric vehicle as a customer revolt over Elon Musk's right-wing politics, expiring U.S. tax breaks for buyers, and stiff overseas competition pushed sales down for a second year in a row. Tesla said that it delivered 1.64 million vehicles in 2025, down 9% from a year earlier. The top executive of the private company that owns Saks Fifth Avenue and Neiman Marcus is stepping down as it struggles with debt. Saks Global Enterprises said that the departure of CEO Mark Metrick is effective immediately. Police are still on the case of the big windfall in Gelsenkirchen, Germany. Thieves stole tens of millions of euros worth of property from safety deposit boxes inside a German bank vault that they drilled into last week. Sprinkles Cupcakes, the iconic gourmet cupcake chain, is permanently closed all of its company-owned bakeries and cupcake ATM vending machines, ending its 20-year run. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Men are 6 times more likely to be struck by lightning than women. That's because men are 6 times more likely to wear a tinfoil hat in a thunderstorm. Here's Mike Winters.
Hey, good morning. It is closing in on 7:59. Stay tuned next hour, about 8:15 or so. We're going to replay our interview we had with District Attorney's Office, District Attorney Diana Luce, and her lead investigator, Justin Dominguez, joined us last month. We always have great conversations with her office, but we got her and Justin a couple weeks ago. So we'll replay that interview for you next hour. Of course, don't forget, high school basketball action continues this week. You'll catch those games for Roswell, Goddard, and Artesia. KSVPTV.com. Just click on the respective channels you there. If you missed any of the Pocorn or Gollard, want to go back and watch it, it's all there too as well to check out. So, but yeah, they got a full slate of games for you this week. Basketball, man, it seems like that it feels like that season's in a short span of time as far as a couple months, But it's that in baseball, man. It's fast and furious for a month there. It just seems like we just played a game, got one again. So, so they'll be back in action, and the next month it'll be fast and furious with basketball. So we'll have it all there for you. All right, it is closing in on 8 o'clock. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, or Roswell, New Mexico. We will be back on the other side of news. Don't go away.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm Rich Thomason. He is throwing in the towel in the midst of the Somali fraud scandal that has rocked Minnesota. Tim Walz says he will not be running for a third term as governor of Minnesota. Walz, who was the Democrats' 2024 vice presidential candidate, made the announcement a short time ago. What a difference a day makes in Venezuela. The BBC's Will Grant says didn't take long for the country's new leader to abandon her anti-U.S. rhetoric.
Having been sworn in as the acting president over the weekend and crucially recognized as such by the Venezuelan military, Delcy Rodriguez told her first cabinet meeting that she was prepared to work with the United States. We invite the U.S. government to collaborate with us on an agenda of cooperation, she later said in a statement, adding that the two nations should be focused on their shared development within the framework of international law. The conciliatory tone stands in sharp contrast to her comments a day earlier, in which she lambasted the U.S. government for the forced removal of Nicolas Maduro and demanded his return.
And while Maduro's supporters in this country have been making a lot of noise, counter-protesters like Cynthia Davila have taken to the streets as well, grateful that Maduro has been deposed.
This is my dream. The Maduro is in the court. And this is the best moment for my life in this moment because he is the bad person.
Maduro's been indicted by a U.S. federal grand jury on charges that include narco-terrorism, conspiracy, and drug trafficking. Maduro and his wife also indicted, being arraigned this morning in New York City. Vice President Vance and family not at their Cincinnati home when the Secret Service says a man broke some windows and caused other property damage. The man's in custody, having been detained early this morning. The Dow is up about 500 points. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
No end to the bloodshed in this West African country.
Police in northern Nigeria say at least 30 villagers in Niger State have been killed and others were abducted when gunmen raided a village Saturday evening. Police say the gunmen opened fire on residents and razed down the local market and several houses. At least 2 residents say about 37 people were killed, but that death toll could be much higher as people remain missing. A resident of the village says the gunmen had been lurking around nearby communities for about a week before the attack. Now survivors are too afraid to recover the bodies. Saturday's attack happened near a community where more than 300 school children and their teachers were kidnapped from a Catholic school in November. I'm Donna Warder.
South Korea says North Korea has launched ballistic missiles into the sea. The South says the missiles were launched from North Korea's capital early yesterday morning. News and analysis, townhall.com. Well, this is one that did not get away.
Or you could say it takes the cake, or maybe it takes the tuna sandwich. A lot of tuna sandwiches. A massive 535-pound bluefin tuna sold for $3.2 million during Japan's initial fish auction of 2026. The tuna was caught off Oma in northern Japan, a region widely regarded for producing some of the country's finest tuna, not to mention some of the largest as well. Jason Walker reporting.
Advances across industries like robotics, healthcare, and vehicles, wearables, gaming, and more set to be on display this week. The annual CES trade show is getting underway in Las Vegas. It is a multi-day event, a show organized by the Consumer Technology Association. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. Let's have a listen. What does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican world radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2. The deuce of Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy 2026, everybody.
Yes. Welcome to the 5th day of the rest of your life.
Yeah. Kind of the first work day back to the grind of 2026 for most people. So happy. Of course, you know, we talked about other stuff. NFL wrapped up its regular season yesterday. And if you're a fan of the NFL, today, Monday, after the regular season's commonly referred to as Black Monday, because this is usually when teams that didn't do so well start firing people.
Decisions have to be made.
Now, Black Monday actually started last night. The Atlanta Falcons wasted no time. Pretty much right after the game, there was reports that the general manager and the head coach were fired. As of a couple minutes ago, I saw the Cleveland Browns have fired their head coach. I'm sure there's a few more on the way. Although with Atlanta, I gotta be honest, I can see them firing the GM.
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised on the coach. Granted, now a GM's going to want to hire their own coach, but Raheem Morris, I would not be blamed as the problem for the Atlanta Falcons. Their general manager, who, by the way, is the guy that threw a bunch of money at Kirk Cousins to be your franchise quarterback, and then weeks later drafted another quarterback in the first round thinking, oh, that'll be fine. He's his heir apparent. Yeah, right. When has that ever worked out?
We got 2 now.
It never does.
Nope.
Not like that. You don't bring in, I mean, it'd be one thing if you brought in Kirk Cousins to be the guy to mentor your young guy, but that's not what you brought him in.
Yeah, your guy to, you know,
and so,
in my term, stare at the lights and put the other guy over.
So basically, your general manager just handed your coach this quarterback controversy, and now, and so I don't blame Raheem on that. Now, that being said, I understand why they fired him because, you know, Cleveland, I think, fired the wrong guy.
Yes, Peter.
Cleveland, they went and fired their coach today, but kept their GM. I would have. Cleveland's problem, actually, their coach, I think he's a good coach. And I think he's going to get a head coaching job somewhere else here this season. Yeah. I'm willing to bet he's going to do pretty good. I mean, this might be, I'm not going to call it a Bill Belichick era where, you know, went to Cleveland, they went to the Patriots and, you know, happened. But I think he's going to find success somewhere.
That's
Cleveland
the thing.
GM is a hot mess, and they're not, I mean, this is the guy with the Deshaun Watson and all that quarterback debacle. That's all the GM's fault.
There are some that are just good and there are some that are just bad. But for the most part, it seems like, you know, with the recipe of it takes all of these, you know, elements.
Yeah.
You have to get it just right. You can have the best, you know, head coach out there, but if you have terrible management or, you know, awful coaching staff, whatever.
And how franchises typically do it, and I don't know if this evolves a little bit, but your general manager is the guy that he goes to the grocery store and buys the ingredients, and your cook's the chef. Or your coach is the chef. He's the one who cooks it. And now, obviously, you want two guys in concert saying, all right, what kind of guys do you want? I want to draft you guys that fit your, you know, hopefully those are the conversations they're having. But at the end of the day, who's on the roster is ultimately the general manager's responsibility.
Right.
And I'm sorry, the Falcons and the Browns have done an awful job with those. And I don't care. You could put Vince Lombardi in there as coach, and it doesn't.
Right.
It's not going to matter.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I think Raheem Morris and Stefanski, wherever the Browns coach's name, are going to find. I think Raheem might get a defensive coordinator gig somewhere, maybe a head coach. But the Cleveland coach, I don't be surprised if he goes to one of these other teams that have already, like the Titans have already fired their head coach. They did it before. And the Giants, same too. They fired mid-season, so they're going to be looking for new coaches also.
Well, as it stands, this coming weekend, Rams taking on the Panthers. Then it's Packers. Wild card round. Then it's Packers taking on the Bears. Go Packers. Bills taking on the Jags on Sunday. Also on Sunday, the 49ers taking on the Eagles and the Chargers taking on the Patriots. Then Monday Night Football, it's the Texans and the Steelers rounding out the wild card.
Yeah, Steelers.
Yeah, that's kind of surprising.
Well, Aaron Rodgers. I mean, I know you're a big fan.
Yeah, huge.
But the Ravens are out and the Steelers are in, and Aaron Rodgers did Aaron Rodgers. Now people will be like, "Well, the kicker missed the fit." Yeah, but Aaron Rodgers did what he had to do to get his team to win. And say what you want, the guy still got it. If you deal with if you know that he did what he was known for his whole career. The 2-minute drill. That was Aaron Rodgers' specialty, and he did it.
Man works well under pressure. Man works well in third and fourth quarter or third and fourth down situations.
And the Ravens are. This is a weird year, man. I mean, the Jaguars and the Panthers.
Yeah, it has
are district or division champs.
It has been an off year.
And the Chiefs aren't in the playoffs. The Broncos are. I mean, it's weird. It's wild, man. It's crazy, man.
It's wild.
Baltimore's not in the playoffs.
It's ponderous.
Put it this way: last year, the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Bills, these were probably the top 3 candidates to win the Super Bowl for the AFC side. 2 of those 3 teams aren't even in the playoffs this year.
Right. Yeah, that's it'll play out rather interestingly.
By the way, Chiefs fans, welcome to the offseason. As a Commanders and Washington fan for 20 years, this is our Super Bowl season. The off season. When all the rumor mills and who we're going to bring in to win us the Super Bowl happens, welcome to it.
I love it because it allows you to add that extra level of snark where you can be like, hey, better luck next year, Chief.
That's right. But yeah, I know it's unfamiliar territory. Welcome in. Have a seat.
Come on here.
We sit in this room a lot.
We've been here a while. I don't know. I'm a Packer fan.
That's why we get excited about Black Monday. Because who can we get?
I just stop by around the middle of the season every year.
Yeah.
As a Packers fan.
Well, they're in.
Like I said, I stop by at the middle of the season where we hit the lull and then we pick it back up for the back half.
Well, but this actually proves my point. Is as mediocre for their big scope of their franchises are between the Packers and the Steelers. Here they sit in the playoffs. Every year, these teams frustrate you, but guess where they're always at? The postseason, playing.
Yep.
Here we go again.
Danica Patrick, when she drove, professionally, was never going to win, but she was always going to, mess up the point order.
Well, they're just franchises that are well run from the top down. Say what you want. Pittsburgh has great ownership. Obviously the Packers are a publicly traded company, but they have good owner. People running that show.
Yeah.
And because of that, those teams are always in the hunt. Always, always, always. Even when they have a down year, they're still respectable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's hard to have self-interest when you're working in, under the will of the people.
Yeah. So, and here we go. We sit again. We look at these teams that are or Chiefs, right? They're playing golf, watching the playoffs. Here's the Packers. Here's the Steelers. And then the Eagles. I'm a little now. I always want my team to win. Don't get me wrong. But we could have such a good thing yesterday if the Giants beat the Cowboys.
Yeah, that was an interesting.
If the Commanders would have lost to the Eagles, we'd be picking 5. Now we're picking 7. I know you're thinking, whoop-de-doo. There's a big difference in draft capital between a 5th pick and a 7th pick.
That's true.
In the first round. It's a huge thing. And I'm all for moral victories and, we play to win and all that. Philly screwed up because if they would have won that game, they would have locked the 2 seed. They would have had, and they decided to rest players. They didn't start their quarterback. They basically put their second stringers in against. That's kind of disrespectful to Washington. They were playing for something, and they said, we'll keep our backups in.
Right. That's like, move in. This guy can't hit.
And so I understand why they beat them, because they probably had that chip on their shoulder saying they're not even going to put their starter out here, even though they can move up and there's reasons for them to do that. And so it kind of looks. So I get why they did that, but at the end of the day, yay, we got a victory yesterday. Woohoo! Let's sing in the locker room. Oh, by the way, we just cost ourselves 2 slots in the draft.
Right.
That we could have picked. I'm just saying. There's a lot more. You could play with a 5 pick a lot better than a 7. Even if there's no one there you want, you could get first-round picks for that 5th pick, other first-round picks.
Right.
And 7th, maybe, but not the value that a 5th pick. So
I say 7th is like, well, your options have been picked through.
I've never been one for tanking games, and I'll never. But that one kind of made me mad. I'm like, that 5th pick, the future would have been so much better with that 5th pick.
You never want to be 7th in line for really anything. The buffet.
And I get it. The guys on the sideline, the coaches, the players, they're playing for jobs. They're playing for next season. They're playing to get tape. I get it. I understand all that. But at the thing, it just makes me mad as a fan. They're like, oh, this is the game you decide to show heart? All right.
Now you're bringing it.
Where was this the other games?
It was just 4 weeks ago.
Yeah. So, all right, we're going to play our interview we had with District Attorney Diana Luce and Justin Dominguez, lead investigator, here in just a few minutes. Sorry, that's my another season of. But I'm familiar with this territory.
Yeah.
Last year, I'm like, I don't know what to do with my hands. We're playing. We can win a Super Bowl. What's going on?
You guys are winning. Stop it.
Now it's Black Monday. I'm like, oh yeah, this is what it's supposed to be like. Yeah, that's right.
Right. This is familiar waters.
All right, 8:16 here. If I get it to play as your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. A little breezy today, especially around the Carlsbad area. Wind at 15 to 25 miles an hour. We'll be getting sunshine, though, nice and warm, low 70s on today's high. Overnight, a few clouds, and we're in the mid and upper 30s, and then slightly cooler on Tuesday, but still pretty nice. We'll have sunshine, mid 60s on the high, turning cloudy on Wednesday, about 65. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 36 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 70%. Winds are out of the northwest at 3 miles per hour. Today, sunny skies, warm temperatures, 72 for a high today. Winds are out of the south at 5 to 10 miles per hour. By the way, another thing that happened, speaking of warm weather, they played the NHL, that's hockey for people that know. They do this thing that's called the Winter Classic during their regular season where it's kind of a traditional thing where they play an outdoor game. The NHL players will go play at like a baseball or football stadium or something outdoors. And usually it's in, obviously, places that are cold. Makes sense, right? Hey, let's go to New York. Let's go to Chicago. Let's go to Detroit, whatever, and play one of these games. They played in Florida. They played where the Florida Marlins played. It was the Panthers and the Rangers. And they played, and it was 60-some degrees out there. Now, weirdly enough, not the warmest Winter Classic on record. I think they played in Chicago a couple years ago where it was like 68 or one of those where it was just unseasonably warm. But they pulled it off. I guess it works, but I just can't wrap my head around playing ice hockey outdoors in Miami or wherever the Marlins play. I don't care what time of year, any time. It was weird. It's fun to watch for a minute, but those outdoor games are so, because it's, overall, you get lost because it's a stadium that seats 80, 100, 70, 80,000, and the hockey rink dwarfs in there. I mean, there's so much open. So if you're sitting in a football stadium, sitting in the nosebleeds trying to watch a hockey game, it's really, 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 really hard to do that. So to go to that experience, you're just going to say you win. It's hard to see the game. It's better to watch it on TV. But I don't know. It was in Florida. Anyway, I was in the middle of the weather in 76, and I was like, oh, by the way, they played hockey outdoors in Florida in the 60s. On Friday or Saturday, whatever day that was. Tonight, partly cloudy, overnight low of 35 degrees. Tuesday, mostly sunny and 66. Wednesday, there is 67, but Wednesday night, we're looking at a 30% chance of rain. after 11, then a 30% chance of rain Thursday morning till about 11 a.m. Otherwise, sunny and 64. Friday in the 50s, sunny and 56. And then for the weekend, 56 and sunny Saturday, 54 and sunny on Sunday. All right, 8:19, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to play our interview with the District Attorney's Office, Diana Luce and Justin Dominguez. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Get a built-in look with a Whirlpool flush mount dishwasher that installs flush with the surrounding cabinets at Bush Appliance in Roswell. A third rack provides space for silverware and hard-to-fit utensils. Plus, this dishwasher meets ADA standards for acceptable design. Shop Whirlpool dishwashers today at Bush Appliance in Roswell. Who you gonna call? Bush Appliance. Stop by 111 West Country Club Road in Roswell or call 575-622-6390.
At Martine's Capital Cafe, come in and enjoy a delicious variety for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Try our burritos, huevos rancheros, asado, chorizo, sausage, flantas, fajitas, chili rellenos, quesadillas, enchiladas, sopapillas, and don't forget their award-winning green chili cheeseburger and so much more. Everything is prepared with the finest and freshest ingredients. Martine's Capital Cafe. Quality, value, tradition, and the most delicious New Mexican food since 1989. Open Monday through Saturday from 6 to 8:30 p.m. at 110 West 4th Street in Roswell.
Rio Pecos Medical Associates proudly welcomes Dr. David Fuccinari, OBGYN. With advanced training in minimally invasive techniques, Dr. Fuccinari is the first in our community to offer robotic surgery for women experiencing heavy or painful periods, pelvic pain, uterine fibroids, and more. Dr. Trevor Miller, Family Practice and Obstetrics, provides prenatal and OB care along with comprehensive primary care for the whole family, including wellness exams, acute visits, chronic disease management, skin procedures, and joint injections. Rio Pecos has expanded care once again by adding pediatrics. We welcome Kim Hansen and Rihanna Shaw, both experienced pediatric nurse practitioners who share a commitment to compassionate, patient-centered care and who have earned the trust of our community over the years. Book your appointment for OBGYN, family practice, or pediatric care online at riopecosmed.com or call 575-622-6322. Rio Pecos Medical Associates, advancing health and wellness for every generation.
Looking to start, continue, or complete your higher education journey? Join the more than 6,000 fellow Greyhounds on their journey to student success. Eastern New Mexico University offers the most affordable higher education degree in the Southwest, and New Mexico residents can go to school tuition-free with the New Mexico Opportunity Scholarship. With online or in-person degrees, ENMU is the right choice for you. For more information, visit enmu.edu. ENMU, student success. That's what we're about.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. You burn more calories sleeping than you do watching television. For the ultimate workout, fall asleep in front of the TV. Here's Mike Winters.
Joining us in the studio this morning from District Attorney's Office. Of course, our District Attorney, Diana Luce, back with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
And, of course, lead investigator Justin Dominguez back as well.
Good morning. Good morning.
Well, first off, I guess Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays.
Merry Christmas.
And,
Merry Christmas.
Is it? So I'm kind of curious, is it like... because the holidays come, that kind of puts a deadline on things. So does it get like scramble mode like for the office this time? Like that, all right, we got to get it buttoned up and we got to get this, or is it like, no, it'll be here when we get back. We'll just do it.
I'd say neither. It's business as usual.
Yeah.
Is it just kind of normal? We just take Thursday, Friday off kind of thing, and then we're back at it on Monday. So. Is that kind of how it just goes?
That is how it is. We split people taking off Christmas and New Year's, so not off both. There might be a few people that doesn't work out, but for most people, that way we've got people there because court keeps going. Crime doesn't stop. It doesn't sleep. The police are working, and so we're there. And so
I can't say stop doing crime.
We could say that.
We've tried.
Yeah, I've tried. It didn't work.
It didn't work.
If you'd put that out like every commercial, that'd be
That's
good.
right. Hey, due to the holiday, you're not allowed to commit crime. Therefore, please revert to your criminal activity on the Monday after the holiday weekend. Thank you.
All law enforcement would appreciate that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and to be honest, it's quite frankly, it's usually the opposite. Usually crime ticks up during the holidays, especially from the law enforcement perspective. When you put more people together in a room, just things tend to happen sometimes.
Yeah, and we talked a little bit about it last month when we were in here, but I can't stress enough right now with everybody ramping up their holiday shopping and sales and everything. Cover your valuables in your vehicle if you're out shopping. Make sure your vehicle is locked. And
imagine
situational awareness. You're being aware of who's around you in the parking lot.
Yeah. I imagine you see a lot of property crime type crimes this time of year. A lot of breaking and entering, and whether it's cars in a parking lot or
and a lot of it's crime of opportunity. I mean, if they don't see the opportunity there, they're going to move on to the next target that's easily available.
Half the battle is locking your doors and not leaving your presence out in the open.
Yeah.
I know with a lot of people have SUVs and things, but most of them usually have a screen or something like you can pull over the back there. If not,
toss a blanket or a jacket back there or whatever. Yeah, just protect yourself. You can take steps to
go
protect
Sanford and Son and put a whole thing of junk on top of it.
Absolutely.
But sometimes just that, and for by all means, don't leave a bunch of change in the cup holder and that kind of stuff. And I know it sounds petty, but if they see a bunch of change, that's like, hey, that might be $10 worth of stuff there, and cling, they'll break a window and take that just like that.
It's opportunistic for sure.
Yeah, just save yourself that headache. Don't once your gifts are there, tuck them away. Don't leave them in the car all day and all. And I get it, you're trying to hide gifts and all that, but because you're trying to keep the kids from spotting them at the house and all that kind of thing. But just do a good job of hiding, and 9 times out of 10 you have no problems. It's they literally will just go through parking lots checking doors.
Exactly. That's exactly what they'll do.
Jackpot bingo, one opens up and they'll rummage through it and see what they can. If your door's locked, they're 9 times.
They're on to the next. Yes,
or
sir.
if you blatantly leave something very valuable sitting, then they're going to smash and grab. That's just what's going to happen. And the other big one I'm guessing too is, although with the weather being the weather, this one's probably not such a problem right now. People like leaving their cars. I know that's big in Albuquerque, and that, or I don't know if that does get to be a problem down in our part of the state where
it probably will in January and February.
Yeah, leaving cars running and
not wanting the weather.
And then of course that's. I'm sorry. In the winter, you got a evaporative stuff coming out the back tailpipe. It's a dead giveaway. You're sitting. They literally go up the street and they see the smokers. I guess is the term I hear the cops call them smokers. There's a smoker. They'll go and check it and steal it, and very easily done. So unless you got like the technology of the remote start and you can keep the doors locked and everything while you're doing the house, don't try that. Or if you got an old school car that you got 2 keys, one for the door and one for the ignition.
Right. There was some benefit to that, right?
Yeah.
Technology and new age stuff doesn't always benefit us, right?
Yeah. I mean, you just the round key was for the trunk, the square key was for the ignition.
Yeah. That's right. Yes, sir.
Yeah. I know it's probably also highly a safety problem, but I kind of missed the gas tank behind the license plate in the back. Yeah. But I'm guessing that's probably a rear-ending problem and explosions. But I kind of dug that whole, flip the license plate. It's kind of a James Bond feeling.
It was, yeah.
But the other thing we would notice that people still may get subpoenas for things over holiday week.
Okay.
Either Christmas or New Year's for court, and just let us know immediately when they're not available.
Okay.
But because court is still happening.
Yes.
And we still have to have witnesses to go forward.
Sure.
So people sometimes think kind of they're like, well, don't the courts, slow down for the holidays?
And no.
They just can't.
Can't afford to.
You'll create a backlog if you do that. So.
Which it already is. So.
Right.
Right. I'm was curious because I just kind of assumed, I guess it depends on the case. But if there's a court case and you're a witness, they can't be, I'm not free that day. I got that. I just kind of assumed, no, you just make yourself free. But do they really kind of work with you a little bit on that?
No. People tell us they're not available, even though they've been served. So and we try to work.
I didn't know that
people.
was an option.
We thought so too. The judges think that.
I just legit you got subpoenaed. That's where you're going. You'll be here at 10:00 on this date. That's where you do. I didn't know you got to negotiate that.
You would think. Not always.
Like jury duty, they tell you to show up. You better show up here.
Right.
They will send people to go find you if you don't show up for that stuff. But does that? I got to be curious. That's got to happen very, very rare, where someone gets some kind of prosecution for lack of jury duty.
I'm not sure about for Chaves County if our judges have had to do anything recently, but it did make the news for Lee County, where a judge in Lovington had less than half of the jurors show up for a big trial. So he issued orders to show cause, and then the newspaper had photographs of where the different jurors were coming in before him. Now, what he did ultimately for that's between the judge and the jurors.
Sure.
But certainly they can be fined.
Yeah, I know they have.
I've seen it, and I've seen it happen in Eddy County.
Okay.
I'm not familiar with Chavez either, but I've seen it happen in Eddy County where the judges issued order to show cause to
maybe
jurors
the
that didn't.
people here in Chavez County are better.
They just show up.
Yeah. Well, I just thought I would figure, because I've served jury duty and I've had people come back late for lunch and they kind of give them the, all right, but don't do that again kind of thing. Didn't really, but in theory they can, that's contempt and there's a lot of, so I just figured they're usually pretty cool about it with jurors, but I gotta imagine unless the jurors just being a butt, for lack of a better term here, what I mean? Obviously if people want to buck the system, sometimes the system bucks back.
Right.
And I was like, that would be the only time I could see a juror getting jail time or something of severe nature for doing that. But I guess in a situation like that, where if half the jury pool said, "Nah, I'm sick today," or whatever they use, that's interesting.
And ultimately, it's up to the judge.
Right, and I do think that in Chavez County, our judges try not to set any jury trials during Christmas. We don't have that same luxury over in Lovington, but there is other court. So if we're filing pretrial detention or if somebody's conditions are revoked under the new 403 rule, the revised rule, then we got to have witnesses. Now, sometimes they can be virtual, phone, video. Sometimes they have to be in person. It just depends. So we just say, call us. We'll try to work with you the best we can.
Sure. And generally speaking, and this is kind of part of how the sausage is made. My impression is, if you're going to a jury trial, the jury trial is the last step. When it's the actual trial, there is so many court appearances before the actual jury trial, whether it's some motion here filed or obviously picking the jury and all that stuff, but just there's a lot of different motions, a lot of different submittal of evidence or withdrawing of evidence or new witnesses that require court appearances and things. So that's where you're saying that a lot of that minutia probably happens during this time. But when they say, all right, when it's time to actually put a jury in a courtroom with us, we try to schedule that outside the holiday season here. But there's enough minutia for every case to keep going until they get to that point, basically.
Right. Arraignments, first appearances, pre-trials, motions, pre-trial detention hearings.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I would imagine, too, depending on the case, there's still plea discussions in some cases, depending on, if they're like, hey, we're going to trial, but we're kind of close to meeting and we're just off on a few fine points. Let's still keep talking, Meanwhile, we're still prepping for trial. Mm-hmm. So there's kind of that deal. And then obviously, from the investigator side, if you guys are probably still continuing to gather evidence, even right up to probably, I'm guessing, before the jury trial itself sometimes, if need be, right?
Well, not anymore.
No.
Not with all the new Supreme Court rules.
Right. Okay.
We have all these disclosure deadlines.
So you don't really get that.
It's usually just trying to get witnesses located and served.
Okay. Correct. That's kind of the most... Well, and this is where probably Hollywood kind of messes with our head a little bit, because one of the big things in court, TV, those type shows, is that the Justin Dominguez works in the world. I found the witness, and he comes walking into the courtroom, and while the judges or the lawyers stalling time. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's always a trope in always one of these shows.
And I've seen that happen.
we've had to get somebody served like that, but they're not a surprise witness.
Well, and to put it into perspective, I mean, you got to think, sometimes these take, a couple of years before it comes to fruition to a jury trial. So if you Joe that used to live at 1010 Center Street 2 years ago when this occurred, might live in Nebraska now. I mean, it's just...
life happens.
Yeah. So, through the years, and if witnesses don't maintain contact with people or stuff like that, then we have to go and locate them to get them served to make sure that they are here for trial.
And let's face it, 9 times out of 10, most witnesses aren't... they're not hiding, but they're not forthcoming either, if that makes sense, where it's like, okay, I'm moving and all that, but I'm not making it a point to tell the DA's office I'm doing that. I just moved and now I got to go, and then you have to go track them down again, basically. They don't, it's not like they say, oh, well, it might be a case here in a year. Oh, by the way, I'm moving to Oklahoma now, or whatever that is. That doesn't happen. So,
and it depends. I mean, I've seen it both sides of the spectrum.
Sure,
but I think most people are like, "Oh, I thought the case would be over by now." We feel like that too.
It's like we wish it was.
The case would be over by now.
100%.
Well, and obviously that's you want speedy justice and everything too, but sometimes some natures of the case, maybe that's not a bad thing that it goes, because anything that's emotionally charged, sometimes time is your best friend for rational heads to prevail. You know what I mean? And because there's a lot of emotion when it's raw, there's a lot of pitchforks type mindsets and things like that, and sometimes you got to let the things chill a little bit. And let's get especially from your perspective. I'm sure you guys deal with folks, and I get it. You lose a loved one or something of that nature, you're angry. You want justice, revenge, depending on how far we're talking here. Can't do that. We can offer justice, but revenge, but that's another. But that's the emotion level, what I mean? And sometimes the years and that the truth tends to come out there, where it's less about the emotional thing, and then sometimes in these cases, that's where the truth that on the surface it looked this way, but now that we've done a little digging, it's more like this way. And
collectively, we investigators, attorneys, victims advocates, collectively, we don't have the luxury of dealing with people on their best days. Like we're dealing with people because of a tragedy.
They ain't coming for something good to see you. Yes. So you're dealing with that. That's where you guys have this is the psychological side of the job here a little bit. Probably, obviously with your law enforcement experience, that's kind of that's every cop's job, is you're part enforcer, part referee, part psychiatrist, part parent, part 20 other things. But I imagine even as a district attorney, you have to play that angle a little bit, explaining to families on what they deserve, but what we can prove. And that's probably the biggest argument you have with families sometimes.
It is, and people don't always like we tell them, well, this is the maximum sentence if they're convicted of that, and they're unhappy with that, and that's not anything within our control, a judge's control. That's the legislature. And so our sentencing in New Mexico is really not that great if you compare us with other states that surround us. So that's the hard part. That's usually the sticking point. The first conversation you have with people cannot be that, but that's what they want to know.
That's what they care about. Yeah.
And then that just is an emotionally charging situation, because when you have to tell them, that the limits that we have.
Yeah. And this is also probably at the time too where, we were talking about length of things going on, and you tell them like, look, bear of bad news, this is going to go on for years. We're not going to have a resolution next week or next month. This is going to be something that, and you probably have to prep the family. It's like, look, this is going to be an emotional drain on you guys, and I'm going to keep you in the loop and try to help you through this process as best I can. But you're going to have to be emotionally ready for this, because this is going to be your life for the next 2 years or however long this goes on.
And I'd say in tandem with our attorneys, our victims advocates are probably one of the most, if not the most important facets of our team. They are constantly talking with the families and easing them into these conversations, and taking it a step further once the attorneys do explain something to them, as being that liaison between the family and our agency to be there and hold the family's hand, literally hold their hand and walk them through the process.
Absolutely.
And talk them through the process and inform them of the resources that are available. And so, working in tandem with our attorneys, they have got to be one of, if not the most important facets of our agency.
Absolutely. Well, and this is the DA dogs. This is why we sing the praises of these DA dogs. That's one of the most valuable tools that's kind of in your tool belt here, that allows these things to happen that you're talking about here. And this is the other thing you deal with, because at the end of the day, we were talking about why court's not shutting down next week and all that, because there's an immense amount of caseloads, and there's only so many assistant DAs and investigators in the room here to do all this. Each one of your deputy DAs probably have, I don't know, I don't want to even guess a number, but many cases on their docket. I don't know if it's dozens or hundreds. I don't know. I don't want to speculate that number and be way off.
It's hundreds. It's over 200 for every attorney. Some of our attorneys are over 300.
And And guess what? Every victim in every one of these cases, it's the most important thing in their world.
Sure.
And you guys do an amazing job, a difficult job of juggling. Look, I got 300 cases, but every one of them are the most important thing in these 300 different families. And I can't undervalue that. And like just because and this is, you guys see this over and over again, and it, murder case or property, whatever the violent cases are, at the end of the day, this is the most just the worst thing that happened in their life. You can't undersell, like when you talk to them and you kind of matter-of-factly talk about these things, which in your world, unfortunately, that's kind of the way it is. You can't present that. And so that's the balance that is probably one of the more difficult aspects of the job, is like saying, but it's like, look, I really do care, but I see so much of this that it's the shock value's is gone off me a little. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Well, and it's not just that. I think we all learn to compartmentalize things, because we have to. We do carry the tragedy that we see, and we live with families, but we also have to do some kind of self-protection, because we all have to continue to do this job and not burn out and not say, I can't do it anymore tomorrow. And our advocates really take that on. They take on the brunt of that. And that's why our dogs, and so I wanted to kind of do a in memoriam. Max was the dog that Janetta Hicks had as district attorney. That was one
of the OG original DA dogs.
He passed recently.
We lost. How old was Max?
So don't get me in trouble. Really, you're going to ask me?
I'm going to guess. It's not like women,
no,
right?
I don't remember.
I'm guessing around 14 or so. That's usually about the lifespan of a dog around that age. I'm just wondering if
I've been DA since 2015, so it was way before that.
But, I was just curious.
But it's just their family does.
Absolutely.
Right? And so for all of us, we still had the sister to Max, Mackenzie. Mackenzie's retired, but still
She's
over in
living
Hobbs,
a fruitful life and
with her handler, that has the new dog Tina at the office. So they were able to get them together for a little short visit on his last few days.
Oh, okay.
But their family does.
Absolutely.
So they not only benefit the public, that people that come
they
in.
are your mental health as well.
They are our mental health, and they are part of our family. And
how's Beaumont doing? Because I think Beaumont just recently kind of
Beaumont's still working. But
okay,
he's
I thought they were about to retire.
He's almost retired.
To live the life of leisure.
So
now.
I think he may be starting tomorrow. I'm probably on vacation for a week, because I think Gina's out for Christmas.
Nice. I just got this image of Beaumont.
Do we get a day off? Right? When's the day
Beaumont
off?
Kicking back like this on a lawn chair with some drink with umbrellas.
He's on a dog bed or a couch, going, do we get treats?
You want to spoil a dog? I don't. And I wish years ago, I had my sister, and they lived up in Rio Rancho, and they had a dog spa up there, and because of the nature, we were going for Thanksgiving, and we couldn't bring our dog over because they had big dogs. It was just, so we brought our dog up for a weekend, and it was literally a dog spa, and they had Tempur-Pedic beds for the dog.
Oh, wow.
You could get massages. They literally had some kind of grotto almost with pools and rocks and things the dogs could walk around and play and all this other stuff. And that's the one and only time I went to pick up my dog, and my dog didn't want to leave. Yeah. The dog was happy to see me, but then turned around and went I'll see you guys later. Went back in there.
But that's a positive, right?
Yeah.
There's a place your dog was safe and happy.
I was going to say, maybe we need to research this place, and maybe that's where Beaumont, they can do a vacation.
We'll bring Gina on the show, and you can tell
see if we can. I hope that place is still around, because I'm like, wait a minute, can humans do it? Because I was looking. I mean, short of the food, I'm kind of down for some of this stuff. Food looks terrible, but
if we can't take our court facility dogs there, they wouldn't want to come to work.
I'm about to say they might be like, wait a minute, this is what the other half lives. I've been working now.
I've been working. You've been taking me all these places.
But and here's something while we're talking about that. If you want to do something to give back and be a part, one of the ways is support the district attorney dog program. The DA dog program, unfortunately, receives no outside funding other than private entities and the generosity of folks like you. That's the only way this program exists. Thanks to your office and folks supporting and doing. But as far as finances for this, no, there's no legislative funding, nothing in the budget for these dogs.
Correct.
So first off, blow up your legislators, tell them to fund this. That's part one. Part two is support. We had the golf tournament here back in October, I believe. That's one of the big fundraisers, but they're always looking for money. You can always, I know during the holidays, usually G&M are selling salsas and things to help
for probably
costs.
Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, Super Bowl time they'll be
do
about
salsa.
Yeah,
but they'll always take a donation. It doesn't
Exactly.
matter. Any amount is great. The DA Dog Foundation handles all that. They take in all the fundraising proceeds and
absolutely. And I know we are getting at the end of the year, and people like to take care of the tax thing and all that. And if you're looking for a place that could use your money, call the DA's office and say, "Hey, I heard about that DA dog thing. I'd like to cut a check. How do I do that?" And they'll be happy to tell you how to do that.
Yes. Absolutely.
be especially grateful.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it just is such a great program because these dogs and by the way, it is immensely expensive to train one of these dogs to serve as a DA dog. They go through several years, I believe, of training before they even come to your guys' home here. And so, and then once they're here, they, depending on the health and everything, but probably 8 to 10 years of service on the dog before they put them to go hang out at Club Med there with the drinks and all that.
Yeah.
But and so but it is immensely expensive, the training program, to put these animals through that, and the cost involved in doing that is quite expensive. That's why we need your support. That's why we ask you to whack the ball in October and buy salsa and make donations to, like, of course, usually like fair season, you'll see Gina has the dogs out to visit and stuff. Occasionally you'll see them at other events and things. I know they'll make appearances at different library and things like
they
that.
They go to reading at the library, and any requests that they get, they try to accommodate. But
they got side gigs.
yeah. They go to the police department every week, and when they're asked, they'll go to schools.
Yeah. But they have been such a great tool for yourself and your other deputy and investigators to really make people comfortable to share things that are tough to do. And that's what these dogs are about. They help witnesses feel like there's a sense of normalcy in a very not normal moment. And I don't care what you say, it's really hard to be sad when there's a dog just resting their head on your lap, giving you the puppy dog eyes, and you're just wanting to pet. You know what I mean? You're in a bad place, but that brings that moment of humanity and love, and just, it peels a few layers of the onion. That's just what it does. And it really helps bring calm in what can be a chaotic moment for folks. And that's, you don't realize that's the difference between prosecution and not, because the only way people go to jail and get prosecuted is based off evidence. And if there's not enough evidence to do it, even though it smells like a duck, looks like a duck, and talks like a duck, if the evidence doesn't support that, it doesn't happen. So sometimes the only way to get the evidence needed is having these dogs in a room to do that. And that's I don't know if statistics have been taken, but I'm going to say there's been an uptake in convictions because these dogs have been involved in these cases. So it's very important.
It is very important, and even if the case can't go forward, if there's a case we can't file, we still use our dogs to meet with people and to help them get through the process. And like I say, sometimes it's just the families of a victim in a homicide case. It just helps them sit through a trial, helps them sit through a sentencing.
Process their emotions.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just a way to help them keep calm.
It's kind of like
to get through it.
Like if someone has like prayer beads or something like that, something that they're using to kind of get, sometimes that's what the dog serves as, is that, something to stroke, something to keep me sane in that moment, or keep me going. It's such a, and by the way, too, like you said, these dogs do the shooting in Texas,
Uvalde.
Uvalde. That's, I kept wanting to say Valdosta. I'm like, no, that's not right. Uvalde. That's in Georgia. Our DA dogs went there to help serve and help families and things. So they do go on the road on occasion when there's bigger tragedy situations.
In El Paso
like
for that shooting that happened in El Paso at the mall.
Yeah.
Excuse me. They were requested by the FBI over there to go help.
So even the feds, which, by the way, if the feds need them that much, let's get some federal funding, too, while we're at it.
Well, and the feds do have their own dogs, but our program with Gina Yeager running the program is nationally known. So she gets asked every time there's a national tragedy. She's
like the first round pick for all these folks. They kind of
Charlie Kirk. They went up for Charlie Kirk's.
We want the best. We want the original. Give us our DA dogs.
So now it's Chevy rather than
Chevy's the new workhorse now. Yeah.
We, of course, we have Kiki too here in Roswell. So, but yeah, we it didn't matter which dog coming on, like you said, and Gina brings on a new dog, but before one's going to retire.
There's a transition
so there's a transition period. Everybody may say no one left, like said Beaumont. You still remember Beaumont, but Beaumont's ready to retire. Yep. So it's become Chevy.
And Beaumont is a great dog, but Beaumont is a bit of a Beaumont rules roost, from my understanding. What Beaumont wants is what happens. We're stopping right now because Beaumont wants to stop. Guess what? We're stopping right now. That's kind of the impression I get.
And just like your own dogs that people have, they all have their own personalities, and so the personality differences are funny. They're entertaining to all of us how different they are. But yeah, we use, like I said, it's not just us or maybe law enforcement that comes in.
Yeah.
They don't really come in to see us. They come to see if the dogs are at the office that day and
they
not
just come
in court
to visit.
somewhere.
Well, they want to. Again. It's their own mental health. They come in, it's like, let's rub on the dogs, roll on the floor of the dog.
Makes you feel better, makes you happy.
Especially probably a few of them that can't have dogs because of their living situation or something. It's like, well, I can get my fix at least rolling around the floor with them at the DA's office, too.
Well, I don't know about rolling around the floor. Usually they're running up and down our hallway.
Oh, yeah. They don't get hair on their
Somebody's
uniforms.
throwing a toy. Well, no, I mean, they do pet them, but I'm saying, but they want to play. When they see people, they're like, oh, I want to play.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's the party time. Yeah, exactly. And then you can slough it off. It's like, I'm working right now,
That's right.
You're just playing with a dog. No, we're working. We're training.
Exercising the dog.
But yes, they're a win-win for everybody. They're a win for it's the dog's fellow co-workers as well as the victims and the witnesses and the folks involved here. And to be honest, it's to me it's a no-brainer. It's like, this is funding that clearly we're seeing gangbuster results in. Why are you not investing more money? And to be honest, I'm like, well, what else can we do with these dogs? Let's find out what's the next layer of that. You look in the big world, and they've got dogs helping medically with people when they can sense like diabetic or they're about to have a seizure or something like that. These dogs can pick up on that and help. I mean, I feel like there's a lot we can tap in with some of that stuff if we're just willing to invest a little more time and energy. We kind of see dogs at the beginning. Oh yeah, they're great at hunting and tracking and all that. Absolutely. But now we're saying, oh yeah, they're great support animals. They're great in reading humans' emotions and able to adapt and react to those. And that's a real great asset that sometimes humans can't get past. Even the most adept humans sometimes can't cut to that layer where the dog can. And that's, write your legislators, write your governor. Tell these folks that we need to make sure that this is a line item in there. When the DA's requesting funding, it's like there should be a line item for whatever the amount of money we can afford to put this towards more dogs, more opportunities for every DA's office, not only in the state, but this should be a tool like a desk or a pen or handcuffs that you guys use on a daily basis, the way I see it. So. Anyway, this is my 2 cents. We are about out of time here. Is there any messages, anything other than, hey, we're still working next week and anything, any other just things we want to let the public know before the holidays here?
Well, the new legislative session will start on January 20th with only a 30-day session, but we will still be hoping the governor puts on the call some crime legislation. And right now our big push is modifications to the Children's Code. Just to remind everybody, the only crime that automatically treated as an adult for a juvenile is first-degree murder.
Gotcha.
And they have to be 15 for that to be automatic adult sentencing.
Okay.
And so moving to add second degree to that and some other major crimes, and then add some others to what are called youthful offender. And then to work on things where jurisdiction of a judge, if they're sentenced as a juvenile, is only until 21. They really should move it to 25 because somebody commits a crime at violent major crime at 17. By the time it gets through the system, they could be done before they actually really get sentenced.
Absolutely, yeah.
So there are a lot of little changes. So communicate with your legislators, right? It's not really our legislators. Ours are great.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of others.
But the more ammo you give our legislators, the more they can take with them to Santa Fe, and because nothing beats letters and correspondence from their constituents. When they walk into the room and say, look, I've got stacks and stacks of correspondence saying they want to support this legislation. This is what the people I represent want. That's weight to them. That's the best tools you can give them to walk, because they will. Thank God, that's the one. The will of the people is what people listen to when it comes to that. And if that gives them ammo to. Now, is it enough to turn everybody's head up there? No, but it's a start, and that's you gotta get to the middle before you get to the other side. You know what I mean? And so
email. An email doesn't take long. You can email your legislators. They'll print those out. They hold them up and say, look, I've got 500 emails on this. Like I say, it doesn't always get the piece of legislation out of a committee or even to be heard by a committee, but
it moves the needle.
But we have to continue to fight for what we need to protect our citizens in this state.
Absolutely, and so yes, keep giving your legislators that ammo to fight, and reach out to our governor, reach out to some of those folks, and send a letter saying this is what we want, as this is how you want us to protect, and I know at least our governor says in public she wants to be tough on crime. Let's make people actually do that.
Right. We'd like to have some of those crime bills make it to her desk.
Absolutely.
And right now that's not happening.
Well, yeah, and I know she's trying to get, but it's there's just I don't want to get. It's a whole thing.
That's a whole nother show.
That's a whole other show. Yeah. I was like, man, it's 5 minutes.
Justin's like, don't bring that up.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's a whole other thing. So, but anyway, we'll leave it on this note here. Thank you guys and your entire office for the work you guys do. I know not every day is sunshine and rainbows. Matter of fact, most days aren't sunshine and rainbows. But you guys are really that line in the sand, and really, the great community we have is due to the fact that between law enforcement and what you guys do at the DA's office, that's what keeps our community great. So we do appreciate that. So
well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
And Merry Christmas to all the listeners.
Absolutely.
And, Merry Christmas to you, and we hope everybody has a wonderful and safe holiday season the way through into January.
Yes. And please note, as we started, due to the holidays, no crimes are allowed to be committed between now and after next Monday.
Yep. That's right.
Please refrain from any criminal activity, so our law enforcement DAs can enjoy holidays with their family.
You can resume January the 5th.
There you go. Bring game on back. Very good. Well, thank you guys. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year if I don't see you between now and then. And I guess we'll be talking hot and heavy legislative stuff probably next month here.
Yes,
probably.
So good deal. But thank you guys, and don't work too hard.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, it is not.
This is an SRN News special report. Tim Walz, the dropout. I'm Rich Thomason. His state reeling from the massive Somali fraud scandal. The Minnesota governor has announced he will not be seeking another term as the state's chief executive. Up till now, Walz has tried to hang the scandal on President Trump.
This is what happens when your own federal government wages war against you. This is what happens when they target communities for their own benefit. This is what happens when they scapegoat.
That was a month ago when Walz was still in the race, but as of today, he has dropped out. Walz says he can no longer devote the energy needed to win another term, although he says he's confident he could win. Now comes the question of who will jump into the gubernatorial race. Someone close to Democratic Senator Amy Klobuchar says that she is interested. There are also about a dozen Republicans already in the Minnesota governor's race. This has been an SRN News Special Report.
It's time for the Chaves County Sports Report. Yes, we have some rare Monday night basketball tonight, and it should be a good one. The Roswell Coyotes hosting the Las Cruces Bulldogs. Well, we can't say anymore that it's the unbeaten Las Cruces Bulldogs because Las Cruces just fell. Their first game of the season, their first loss, was at Cleveland on Saturday in Rio Rancho, 69-61. Nevertheless, Las Cruces is 11-1 overall. Roswell is 7-5, having won 4 of their last 5, including a 53-50 victory over Goddard on New Year's Eve. Game time, 6 o'clock tonight. Meanwhile, it was close all the way on the road for the Goddard Rockets, but the Rockets fell to the Valencia Jaguars 38-37 on Saturday. Goddard is now 5-5 on the season. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. A little breezy today, especially around the Carlsbad area. Wind at 15 to 25 miles an hour. We'll be getting sunshine, though, nice and warm, low 70s on today's high. Overnight, a few clouds, and we're in the mid and upper 30s, and then slightly cooler on Tuesday, but still pretty nice. We'll have sunshine, mid 60s on the high, turning cloudy on Wednesday, about 65. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Your home for Coast to Coast AM in Roswell, 106.5, Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
Today, Tim Walz is a dropout. His state reeling from the massive Somali fraud scandal. The Minnesota governor has announced he will not be seeking a third term as the state's chief executive. He is dropping out of the race. Up till now, Walz tried to hang the scandal on President Trump.
This is what happens when your own federal government wages war against you. This is what happens when they target communities for their own benefit. This is what happens when they scapegoat.
That was a month ago, and Walz was still in the race. He says he can no longer devote the energy needed to win another term, even as he says he's confident he could win. So now comes the question of who will jump into the gubernatorial race. A person close to Democratic Senator Amy Klobuchar says that she is considering a run for governor of Minnesota. There's also no shortage of interested Republicans. Around a dozen of them are already in the race. Deposed Venezuelan dictator Nicolas Maduro and his wife making their first court appearance today in New York City. The couple's been indicted on drug trafficking, narco-terrorism, and other charges. They were captured over the weekend in that lightning-fast U.S. military raid in Caracas. Vice President Vance and his family were not at home when this happened.
Secret Service agents say a man who broke the windows of Vice President Vance's Ohio home and caused other property damage has been detained. 2 law enforcement officials say the man broke a window with a hammer and tried to enter the house. The home in Cincinnati's Walnut Hills neighborhood was unoccupied. Vance and his family were not in Ohio. The Secret Service is working with local police and the U.S. Attorney's Office on possible charges. Vance's office says his family is back in Washington. I'm Haya Panjwani.
The rally rolls on Wall Street. The Dow is up 640 points, gain of more than 1%. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
Venezuelans in New York City have mixed reactions to the capture of President Nicolas Maduro. Some are elated. Others wonder what's next for their homeland.
Maria Moriera fled Venezuela almost 30 years ago during the Chavez era and hasn't visited family in 15 years. She says she wants to go back to see her older brother and give him a hug and a kiss. She is one of many people who live in Queens who fled Venezuela. On Saturday, she celebrated with friends and is hoping a new leader will mean a better life for a new generation. A group of people demonstrated in Times Square Saturday afternoon against U.S. intervention in Caracas. They said that the intervention isn't about drug trafficking or democracy. It's about stealing oil and dominating Latin America. Bernie Bennett reporting.
A Paris court has found 10 people guilty of cyberbullying France's First Lady by spreading false online claims about her gender. The court has convicted all the defendants to sentences ranging from cyberbullying awareness training to 8 months suspended prison sentences. News and analysis, townhall.com. Britain's King Charles leads tributes to an outspoken Holocaust survivor who died in London at the age of 96 and who had an encounter with a world-famous diarist.
Eva Schloss met Anne Frank in the Netherlands after she and her family were forced from their home in Austria. They were betrayed by a Nazi sympathizer on her 15th birthday and sent to the notorious Auschwitz concentration camp, where her father and brother died. She and her mother survived. Mrs. Schloss said that for more than 40 years she was unable to talk about what had happened to her. But in 1990 she co-founded the Anne Frank Trust, with the aim of teaching young people to, in her words, never forget the terrible consequences of treating people as other. Paying tribute, the King said she had devoted her life to overcoming hatred and prejudice, promoting kindness, courage, understanding and resilience.
And that's the BBC's Ellie Pierce reporting. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The demolition, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican world radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Tres Inviernos
Of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Monday. Happy first, I guess, real work day of 2026 from most. I mean, some people work Friday and things, but, yeah. I mean, I was here Friday for like a minute.
Yeah, I popped in to
like,
check a log.
Publicly work.
Do a couple things, but yeah, this is officially kind of back to the grind of it all.
You have to kick a few squirrels here and there, do that stuff, get things going.
Yeah, blow out the cobwebs, and that's the thing is getting back into the routine of it all, the motivation. This is going to be the longest week of the entire year because for the past 2, it's been like a 3.5 day week.
Yeah, it'll be it's a full 5-day week.
Yep.
Full, for most. Kids stuff, it's a 4-day week for them.
Yeah, shut up.
So, and teachers, believe it or not, this works good for them. At least based on my wife's experience with her time. Whereas they get to go back to work, but they don't have to deal with the immediate of kids
chaos.
And just they can kind of have a cup of coffee and settle in and we got to go to some meetings and whatnot. But they don't hit the ground running, so to speak, like they do on a given school day.
Yeah, in-service days are BYOB. You can just leave it all in the teacher's lounge. Whatever's left, take it home at the end of the day. It's a more laid back day, but it's good to have that kind of that foundation so that when the kids get back and when the chaos comes back in full, everybody's ready.
Oh, as soon as you did that, all I could think of is like when I was in school, and it's a different time from now because and everyone at this table pretty much knows, like the teacher's lounge basically smelled like a casino.
It was insane. Back when you could smoke indoors, boy, did they ever. And
I'm pretty sure there was liquor bottles. I'd bet
100%. That's the teacher's lounge, like when you were in elementary and even kind of middle school, it was like this sacred zone where you were just like, I just want to get in there just to see what happens. And it's really just like a sad couch, a tube TV, and a coffee machine.
I remember in high school getting like a peek through the crack, like as you walk by. And I do remember it literally looked like a Cheech and Chong movie from what I could see, just pillows of smoke.
It just comes billowing out of the room.
And that was about it. I couldn't see like frolicking or nothing. I didn't see any of that. Or
just the door, as one teacher goes in and that slow door close, you just see one teacher sitting at the table just spinning a revolver.
Yeah. None of that.
It's like, oh my God, what happens in there?
Some teacher with her hand on the table and a knife.
There's a classic scene in The Simpsons where Marge comes to work for the nuclear plant. She's trying to like make it like a more positive place, and so they like pump like Tom Jones music in, have like wacky hat day. And you just see this guy wearing a crazy hat, and you hear, "It's not unusual," and he's sitting there just pouring himself a shot. Just sad look on his face.
Yeah. So they appreciate a day like this. That was my point.
Because tomorrow begins the days that tries men's souls.
Yeah.
Today it's let's just get our curriculum in order.
It's kind of nice distraction the Black Monday thing for the NFL because now I've been kind of like the Giants. They're going to keep their GM, which a little surprise there, but all right. Cleveland's firing their coach, keeping their GM. Big surprise there.
Everything looking.
Yeah, they cleaned house.
Which I don't understand. He was doing pretty decent.
The GM I can see.
Yeah.
But the coach. But then again, when you hire a GM, they kind of want to pick their own people. So, but yeah, I got to turn their mics on. You got to start talking. I just started flapping my gums too. But when the. Raheem Morris, I think, is going to get a job somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if he's going to be a head coach, but he's definitely going to be a defensive coordinator or something. The GM, I said this in the 7 o'clock hour. Raheem Morris got dealt a bad. Like, when you pay a bunch of money to bring Kirk Cousins in, you ain't paying him to be a groomer of an heir apparent quarterback. You're paying him to win now. This ain't that. And then, so when they hire him, like, all right, Kirk Cousins is our dude. And then a couple weeks later in the draft, you draft a first-round quarterback.
Yeah.
You just gave Raheem Morris quarterback controversy right out the gate, a huge distraction. And this is was that year one of Raheem Morris? That was year one of Raheem Morris.
Yeah.
He was only there. This is year two. So Raheem Morris kind of got a bad.
He did. I mean, he didn't even get his feet in the ground. Yeah. Takes you a year just to figure out your team. Don't you mention it.
Pick up on that.
Although,
as if Raiders are talking about releasing Max Crosby, Jerry Jones, you better get up on that boy.
They don't have enough money.
I'll contribute.
He's at salary cap
I hear Dan
already.
Quinn is really good with defensive players, Mr. Crosby, if you'd like to come to Washington.
Yeah.
Although we got enough old people on that team we already got two guys that are eligible for Social Security benefits. And Von Miller wants to come back, so great, let's dust him off for another year, too.
Well, yeah.
Jason Pierre-Paul that was coming back?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, he played, or he was supposed to be supposed to go back to Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
That's
probably the only people that take him at this point.
More or less.
I don't think the Giants want to mess with him. But
no, I don't like that man. He's mean.
Yeah, but
he's supposed to be.
He's good, but he's mean.
Yeah,
he's supposed to be.
Well, and in all fairness, retirement changes you a little bit.
Yeah.
And he's going to be a lot softer coming back. I'm just saying.
Probably not. He probably has all that.
Off playing fireworks. He's got.
He's a few fingers short.
Yeah,
still,
he's probably got pent up aggression. You let me back on that field. I'll show you what. I
know what you won't be doing.
Yeah.
Waving with full 5 fingers.
Yeah, you're not gonna be waving at me correctly. Yeah. I wonder what his gloves look like. I mean, do they still have the 5 fingers? Or they,
he's got one mitten.
Yeah.
That's when he gets a Christmas isotoners, one
glove and
mitten,
mitten, yeah. Oh, that'd be great if Dan Marino sent him something like that, huh?
We call it the B.
The B?
Yeah, inside baseball.
Inside.
We'll tell you that one off air.
Oh, God.
The claw. The claw.
The claw.
Anyway. So, yeah, I was kind of surprised about Raheem. And to be honest, Cleveland fired the wrong dude. I mean, maybe the coach needs to change the scenery, but the Browns kept the guy that's going to keep them keeping. Actually, the Browns are going to be the Browns because the owner of the Browns is the Browns, and that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But the general man, I mean, the whole Deshaun Watson, all the mess that is, and quite frankly, the Cleveland Browns, they saw the playoffs twice with the coach they just fired. The Browns went to the playoffs twice with this guy. He's not the problem.
Right.
But anyway.
Yeah, every year prior to that, the Browns were like, in the school lunch line early. After,
You're talking Raiders? They ought to give Pete Carroll the boot and talk to this dude that Cleveland
Well,
just
that's
fired.
what she was just joking about.
I'm talking about, by Pete Carroll, by Geno Smith, Tom Brady, you're partial owner to this place. Maybe you should put a little bit better input in.
Yeah. I will just say that dude will be coveted. He's going to be probably the guy that everyone wants to get a shot at.
Well, it's just like, look at, Robert Saleh. I mean, they got rid of him from the Jets. He goes over to the 49ers, builds one of the most dynamic defenses off ragtag players, because half of his players, all of his stars, they're out.
And that's what I think that's Solace.
Yeah.
Solace is an amazing defensive coordinator. He's not so much when it comes to head coach.
Right.
And I think there's certain guys that are great. Like, I got to be honest, Cliff Kingsbury's going to get a few interviews and things there. Washington may not keep him, even if they don't get a chance to. Oh, there's been talk of that. But anyway, I think Cliff Kingsbury is the same way. He's a great offensive coordinator, not so good as a
head coach.
So I think if he goes as a head coach, I don't think he's going to find success. But that's just me.
I can't believe you guys beat the the Eagles yesterday.
Don't get me started on
that. They
They
didn't play any of their starters.
I know, but still, point is, you guys beat Washington and we lost to the Giants. Or you guys beat the Eagles and we lost to the Giants.
Yeah.
The funky Giants, and we played our starters.
And guess who got, technically screwed out of all that? Washington.
Yeah.
Because if the Giants won, if Washington would have lost to Philly, we'd be picking 5. We're now picking 7. I know, and people are 5, 7. In the draft capital world, a 5th pick is way more valuable than a 7th pick.
Yeah.
You can deal that. Put it this way, I was thinking, do y'all remember Ricky Williams? Y'all remember that? Well, basically, Joe Gibbs, they did a crazy trade with Ditka when he was running the Saints, and we traded basically our high pick and got like 57 picks that the Saints ended up with Ricky Williams. We got like 10 picks, and we ended up with like our next batch of starters. And I was hoping, we take that 5th pick, trade it back a couple, get a few more firsts, and next thing you know, we just built
better line
a cast around this guy that's our heir apparent, apparently, with Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
Because until you build him some people around him that aren't 50, you got to give him a defense. I think the O-line's there. I think the O-line's pretty. They got to get receivers. They got to get a running back, and they got to stop having this dude run so much. But anyway,
and he's young, and look how many times he's been injured already. He's another RG3.
Well, and to be honest, his regression this year, the injuries and all that, the thing I noticed with him is when they start scheming him up where he's having trouble reading the defense, he runs.
Yeah.
And that works in college. That will only work for a little bit in the NFL. Mm-hmm. At some point, if you can't figure these defenses out, you gotta go. You're RG3.
Yeah.
You're Geno Smith. Yeah. Insert running quarterback here.
Yeah.
Who got sacked like 7 times in the first half yesterday when we were watching?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, you were half out of it. Never mind. Somebody ate turf like bad yesterday morning, and I was like, ouch. I don't remember.
Quarterback?
I
don't know. I was half watching yesterday. I can't believe I sat through 3/4 of that Washington game, to be honest. I should have bailed a long time ago. I just didn't care. You know, I was like,
I didn't watch the Cowboys game. We watched the Detroit and who did Detroit play?
I don't remember.
Jesus.
Yeah, I can't remember.
The Bears?
No, the Bears play. Bears
Vikings?
played last night. And
Did Detroit? No, Detroit didn't play the Vikings. Brad, who Detroit played?
Maybe it was the Bears
Packers?
I played. No, because
There's somebody right now sitting in their truck
Are
slamming
we
their
talking about
hand.
Joe Burrow?
Yeah.
the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Well,
said he was sacked by Myles Garrett for Garrett's record-breaking 23rd sack.
Oh yeah, that one yesterday.
Oh,
no,
boy.
there was somebody yesterday. One of the NFL quarterbacks. Yeah, they just got munched.
it was Joe Burrow, but all the sacks were mostly by the other O-line or the defensive line on the Browns. And then Myles Garrett got his 23 sack and then beat the Watt record.
Yeah.
Did you see what Strahan said?
No.
'Cause Strahan had the record before.
Yeah.
He goes, well, Myles Garrett's the 17-game sack. I did it in 16.
16 games. Yeah. It's always that, man. You know, it's like when they beat Babe Ruth's home run record.
Right.
Oh, he did it in 60 games, not 61.
Right.
You know, yeah.
Or the.
But then again, if you ask Gastineau, Favre laid down for Strahan's sack. You ever seen that clip?
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, there's a famous internet clip of Brett Favre at like some place, and Mark Gastineau just rips him a new one for letting Strahan sack him and swears that Strahan's sack is not real or tainted because Brett Favre took a dive for him, and Gastineau's, to this day, Gastineau's still salty about it.
Gastineau's not all there, though. That dude.
No, he's not.
That
But he
guy,
actually
man.
confronted Brett. Like, yeah, go search on the internet. It's all over there. He got up in Favre's face about it.
Well, it kind of looked like Burrow just stopped and let Myles have that sack.
Well, that's what people are saying. Yeah.
But they didn't realize, there's a 310-pound lineman that was in front of him.
Yeah, no.
Either way, he was going down.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if the word "let someone sack me" is a thing that's true in the NFL.
No, it's just do I take?
I'll let you do it if you do it nice.
It's really just how you phrase it. Sack me, daddy.
Not the best way. Yeah,
I'm talking about on the field.
All right. Then too. But I'd rather have Myles Garrett coming from the outside, grabbing me by his arms and throwing me down, than that, mama's baby that was sitting in front of him at 323 pounds, landing on top of me. Yeah. I don't gamble, but I think that's a pretty decent roll of the dice.
Not to mention, Joe Burrow's had a lot of injuries, and I don't know if he's a guy you just want to let people, take shots at him.
Yeah.
But anyway, in case you can't recognize the voices, John and Crystal Noble are joining us here this morning. We're talking Roswell Seed here in just a few minutes, and
we're talking football,
and we'll talk
pretty good at this, man.
There you go.
Got a regular Pat Summerall and Al Michaels over here.
Yeah, just get a Monday gathering.
Started Summerall.
Summerall, he was
he was drunk by the third quarter.
Yeah,
I'm kidding. There's nothing in there but coffee.
Although,
you
give enough of that, it's enough for John.
You don't need very much.
You give like 30 shots on a thing that big, and that's about the thing.
I wouldn't sleep for 2 days.
No, you'd sleep in about 10 minutes because it hit you and you'd crash.
I drink my coffee by the barrel.
Yeah.
If I could.
But, so we'll talk Roswell Seed with John and Crystal Noble here in a few. Before we do that, though, let's take a gander at your weather.
Weather this hour brought to you by Southwest Bearing under new ownership. Custom solutions for your heavy equipment. Hydraulic hoses, hose repair, bearings, seals, sprockets, belts, tools, fluids, and fittings.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. A little breezy today, especially around the Carlsbad area. Wind at 15 to 25 miles an hour. We'll be getting sunshine, though, nice and warm, low 70s on today's high. Overnight, a few clouds, and we're in the mid and upper 30s, and then slightly cooler on Tuesday, but still pretty nice. We'll have sunshine, mid 60s on the high, turning cloudy on Wednesday, about 65. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 47 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 56%. Winds currently out of the southwest at 6 miles per hour. Enjoy today. It's probably your warmest day of the week. According to the weather, it is. Sunny and 72. Winds will be out of the north at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy, 35 for an overnight low. West winds at around 5 miles per hour. Tomorrow, Tuesday, mostly sunny, 66 for a high. Winds out of the south at 5 miles per hour. Wednesday, partly cloudy and 67. with south winds at 5 miles per hour. Wednesday night, we're looking at a 30% chance of rain after 11. Mostly cloudy, overnight low of 41, and that 30% chance of rain continues into the a.m. hours on Wednesday till about 11 a.m., otherwise mostly sunny and 64. Friday, we're going to dip down into the 50s, sunny and 56, and then we're going to linger in the 50s through the weekend, sunny and 56 for Saturday, sunny and 54 on Sunday. All right, 9:23, we're going to take about a 2.5-minute break, and then we will be joined by John and Crystal from Roswell C. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Artesia General Hospital presents healthy living tips for the fall and winter seasons. As the days get shorter and the temperatures drop, keeping your family healthy takes a little extra planning. Start with the basics. Wash your hands often, especially after being out in public. And don't forget your flu shot. It's one of the best ways to prevent serious illness during fall and winter. Holiday gatherings are coming too. Enjoy the season without overdoing it. Choose vegetables and lean proteins first, then savor those festive treats in moderation. And with heaters running around the clock, your skin can dry out fast. Use a good moisturizer, drink lots of water, and consider adding a humidifier at home to keep everyone comfortable. Simple habits can make a big difference. These healthy living reminders are brought to you by Artesia General Hospital, ready to help take care of you and your family.
When you or a loved one need medical transport, Trans-Aero answers the call. Trans-Aero Medevac operates 3 rotorcraft bases and 1 fixed-wing base in southeastern New Mexico, allowing them to respond quickly to emergencies across diverse terrains. Their fleet extends coverage deep into New Mexico and West Texas, including Artesia, Carlsbad, Roswell, Ruidoso, Midland, Lubbock, and the surrounding areas, ready to answer the call when every second counts. Trans-Aero Medevac, proudly serving southeastern New Mexico and West Texas. Flown for free, thanks to the partnership from the City of Artesia and Trans-Aero Medevac. Life support by air.
Looking to start, continue, or complete your higher education journey? Join the more than 6,000 fellow Greyhounds on their journey to student success. Eastern New Mexico University offers the most affordable higher education degree in the Southwest, and New Mexico residents can go to school tuition-free with the New Mexico Opportunity Scholarship. With online or in-person degrees, ENMU is the right choice for you. For more information, visit enmu.edu. ENMU Student Success. That's what we're about.
You can't hunt camels in Arizona, but you can buy them. They go for about $10 a pack. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 25 minutes after 9 o'clock, and now officially joining us in studio this morning, wearing Roswell Seed figurative hats today.
Repping Roswell,
John and Crystal Noble back with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
Merry or Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
You know, holidays, Christmas, all that was. I don't think I've really. I mean, on air, I don't think I've talked to you guys since before Christmas. So.
No, talked to you after on the phone, but not radio.
Yeah. So how was the holidays?
It was good.
Good.
I did not overcook Christmas.
Good. What'd you do?
Tamales, rice, beans, ham, mashed potatoes, corn, rolls, berry medley pie, peach cobbler. What else did I make?
You're making me hungry right now.
That's why John's quiet. He's still digesting Christmas and New Year's.
I don't remember.
No, she has this really cruel weight loss thing going on right now. So she makes all of this food, and I'm like, yeah. And then she packages up and gives it to people. I'm like, what the heck?
He's like, see, look, I even offered to take them food for Christmas.
I understand that part, but
Well, in all fairness, we were out of town right after we headed up to Albuquerque.
Yeah, I mean that one I get. That's not a big deal, but I spent the whole day getting yelled at. Can't go in the kitchen. So if I had to go to the back, I had to go out the front door, around the side of the house to go into the back because I couldn't just cut through the kitchen because it wasn't allowed. Don't taste this. Nope. Don't touch that. No, don't even ask me about this. Fine. One day, sit down, fill up the plate. All right, you good? Good. Yeah. And then it's all packaged up. And I'm like, no, it's not. Hell? Come on, man.
And then I made deviled eggs.
He misses leftovers. Ooh, deviled eggs.
Yeah. No, he had lots of leftovers. Good. He had leftovers for days. And then before it goes bad.
I had a day.
I ain't going to lie. That is and you share the same crux that I do. When two people live together, when you make something like this, you're always sick of it because you've got to eat it for 3 days. You know what I mean? Like I got like my request, and I love it. My wife made chicken and dumplings yesterday. Loved it, enjoyed it. But I'm going to have to enjoy it for the next 5 days now. That's the part that is like, all right.
I mean, on that, I got a day. Yeah, you gave me a day.
Yeah.
1 day. Yeah, so this year's New Year's resolution, guess what it is? I quit my diet. That's the only resolution I'll ever keep in my entire life.
I quit resolution.
I just quit my diet. That's it. What's your New Year's resolution? Quit my diet.
There you go.
Yeah. He doesn't follow the diet, even though he's supposed to.
I'm going to be really bad about it now. Watch me.
He's not even going to care.
Not.
And that's why we give shots.
Yeah, you're not supposed to eat that. Well, you're breathing. Shush.
Well, I understand your sentiment after. Like I still try. I mean, I'm kind of like I'm going to do, but if I want ice cream, I'm eating ice cream.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I'm going to do that.
Yes.
But I do try. But
And I'm not going to listen into this. You're not supposed to. Yeah, I know I'm not supposed to do this. Duh.
But and not trying to be a bummer, but after what I've experienced over Christmas, it really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You could eat like a saint or eat god awful, and you're gone when it's your time.
When it's your time, it's your time. That was because when you talk to people and they talk to you about like combat and this and that and other, you think about it, but no, you don't. Because you just come to the reality of it is, if it's my time, it's my time. Regardless, let's go. And that's how. And I'd like you around a little bit longer. And I'm thinking to myself, there's some days I'm pretty sure you hold a pillow over my face when I'm asleep.
Well, that's today, sweetie.
Yeah. And you got it. But the thing of it is now, the way I'm looking at this stuff is, who do you believe?
Yeah.
Well, you got to take this for that. You got to take this for this. Well, you're taking this to do this, but then you have to take this to counteract what you're taking because this is going to get messed up. And then you got to take something to counteract. And you're taking like 10 pills, and it's like,
I'm listening to some of these commercials, and they're talking about if you experience these side effects, stop it. I'm like, the side effects are worse than the actual problem.
Right, exactly. It's like, well, that's a new one.
Yeah. I went to the doctor one, and he was all like, your B12 is low. And I'm like, okay, he's like, well, you got to take these shots. No, I don't like shots. And he was like, well, your brain is shrinking. I'm okay with that. I really am.
He's like, wasn't that big to begin with?
Yeah, it's not a big deal. When I start walking,
brain.
Yeah.
Start calling him pea brain.
I start walking out of the house with the underwear on the outside of my pants, then we can talk.
Hey.
Till then, no. Either that or it was a really good Friday night.
Well, my point is, if the person's happy, who's the genius?
Yeah. You need to take this. Is it going to make me taller?
I mean, if
No.
you're running around, being an idiot, but you're happy.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's like ignorance is bliss sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That scene from The Matrix where he's like, I know it's not steak, but do I care? I mean, there's something to be said there.
little things in life, that you just, yeah.
But anyway, how's things at Roswell C?
Slow.
Yeah, slow and quiet right now,
Gardening and lawn care and things aren't the top of people's brains usually around the first of the year. This is kind of dormant vegetation season.
Yeah.
Although, for people that really care about this kind of stuff, this is the time to percolate and get stuff ready for when things start looking
at. This is where we fall into that. New Year's resolution. I'm going to make my yard look better this year.
Yeah.
Okay, we're there.
Need to call a guy about that.
Yeah. Is it going to happen? Who knows? Everybody starts off with good intentions.
Sure.
And then we understand. Water bills go up. This a car breaks down. We
New
get
Netflix
it.
series pops up.
Yeah. We understand. Lawnmower dies on you. Okay, we get it. We're here to help.
That's right.
Whenever we can.
But
there are some winter things that a lot of people don't think about. There's winter bulbs, fall bulbs. Plant them now. They bloom in the spring. It is getting a little bit late because, ironically, our weather is not really wintering right now.
Yeah, it's kind of which pulls Mother Nature and I imagine this keeps up. We'll start seeing trees get leaves here before
We were
you know.
eating lunch the other day, and I picked them up, and we just went to sit at the park by DeBrenham Stadium. The tree we were sitting under already had blooms. I was like, no, it's not that time.
It's going to be a rough.
Yeah. So a lot of people, if you're seeing blooms on your trees, you're probably going to have to do a little bit of something come springtime when they should be blooming, because if we actually do start freezing, that's going to kill those blooms off, and then it's going to shock
it's
the
gonna
tree.
happen, folks. You know it. I'm going to take a stab here. By the end of this month, February, we're going to have some winter storm or some weird thing like that.
It's going to come rolling in.
Well, I don't know. The Simpsons predicted, some massive snowstorm over the United States from the 6th of January to like the 21st or something, shutting the entire United States down.
Well, I don't think it's going to happen tomorrow, but
no, I think at least we're safe.
Yeah, not here.
So, but we have a lot of people that come. Hey, do I fertilize now? So generally, no. Because you don't want freezing. You don't want the water to freeze, because then you just burned up everything that you just done.
Gotcha.
But I also understand people like they're saying, well, it's 70 degrees outside. Yes, it is. Well, I didn't get to try it. That's all I can tell you.
Sure.
See what happens. And
you may have to do it again later on. You may have wasted some money, but maybe you get some benefit out of it.
But for the most part, everything's trial and error.
Sure.
Got people that want to plant a winter garden. Okay. What do you suggest? Well, think like a rabbit, because that's what you're going to plant. That's about it.
Yeah. Leafy greens.
Yeah.
But if you want to do that, fine. If you got a greenhouse, well, it doesn't really matter.
And and this is where I don't know at this level, and this is where maybe you guys would help. But I know like professional farmers, they grow crops in seasons, and like if they're growing one thing in the winter, they're growing something in the fall.
Mm-hmm.
But by doing that, they're actually enriching the soil for the next thing by growing the next thing. Can you do that equivalent in your own small garden?
Yeah,
too?
sure. Yeah. They refer to it as a cover crop.
Yeah.
And we have a couple of mixes that you could put down. Basically, some of us, I usually refer to it as a nitrogen bump. It pumps a lot of nitrogen in the soil, a lot of phosphate in the soil. And then you just till it under, basically. So one of them that we have, it has like a sweet pea in it. It has a clover. It also has a radish, and everybody's like, "Well, it doesn't make no sense." The radish actually keeps the soil loose because it's balling inside.
If you mix them in a salad, they're just fine.
Yeah, they're great. I don't know if I'd want to eat these radishes or not, honestly, but
what he's referring to is changing crops, not ground cover.
Oh, if you want to change the crops, you can.
Does that benefit? Like, can you do that?
Not really. It's easier just to plant a cover crop and produce, natural enzymes and stuff, and then put your crop back in. You're not depleting the ground that much as, like, let's say a farm.
Gotcha.
Where you
it's
have
just bigger level.
Yeah,
I didn't know if that's why I was kind of wondering if you're in your backyard, is that worth your time?
Like your spring and summer garden versus your winter garden. Your winter garden is going to be mostly like inside a greenhouse or where like it's windowsills, not so much outside in like a bed, because depending on how we do have a winter depends on what they're going to be experiencing. And we get a lot of high winds here, and leafy greens don't do good with high winds. They do better inside greenhouses or inside windows or where they've got a wind block. And your leafy greens, a lot of people actually grow them in tubs and barrels instead of in the ground and in the garden.
So maybe if you're doing that, and depending on where your garden's laid out, try to shield it from wind. Maybe keep it up in a corner near the house and fence where the wind doesn't necessarily get to that part. That part,
Generally, we tell people east side.
Gotcha.
East side sun, west side shade.
And if you want to do the container gardening, it's pretty cheap. I don't know if Roswell Livestock is still doing it, but they had lick tubs, and that's what the cow minerals used to come in. And they had them stacked because the farmers would bring them back, ranchers would bring them back. Here you go, like they'd get, they did it to us for a while too. They'd bring back the bags. We're like, we don't want these. We can't reuse them. Yeah. Same thing with them. They can reuse. So if you go over there and ask them for a lick tub, how many do you want? Oh, I just need, 2. They'll give you 40, type of deal. It's to get rid of them. Yeah, she left. She did that one day. I'm just going to go check them out. Okay, fine. She came back, the whole back of the truck. I'm like, why? And she was all like, well, the guy just gave them to me. I'm like, yeah, because he doesn't want them.
Maybe you guys just put basically just like they do with the kittens, that you just put a little sign out front, say free to a good home, and just keep sending them there.
God.
So a lot of the farmers, when they bring back X amount of lick tubs, they get a free lick tub free. That's why they bring them back.
Oh, really?
Recycling.
Oh, okay.
There's a purpose behind it.
So if you want, it's easy. Especially people that are like limited in space.
Sure.
They're easy to move around. You could drag them over here, drag them over there,
Drill
whatever.
a couple holes in the bottom, throw some rocks for drainage.
And they're big. They're not small. They're good size. So I mean, you could
put
a hardy plant in there.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I mean,
Multiple.
you know.
And we're talking. I mean, of course, we're talking like vegetables and things. But
Yeah.
shoot, if you're wanting trees and plants too, you probably start some trees in these things.
You know, and there's those the DIY people out there. I really hate them because they're so intelligent, and I am so not. You know, they do so much stuff with this stuff.
Sure,
it's great. This one had the bright idea. Well, we're gonna do. She wanted the antique water barrel look and stuff, and I told her it ain't gonna work. And yeah, it is. It's gonna work. It's not gonna work. No, it's not. It's not going to work. It's gonna work. It's not. Okay, that's fine. So if you and I explain this just like I explained to my lovely wife, if you plant a plant in a galvanized tub and it gets 110 degrees outside, that heat has to go somewhere.
Sure.
Yeah, she had 4 plants, tomato plants, in it. 3 days later, we had 4 sticks because the heat. So if you are going to do that, insulate it.
Get some ventilation. Get some,
because that stuff heats, and and believe it or not, soil absorbs heat. Who'd have thunk it?
Yeah. This is why they take soil temperatures and give them. That's why the Ag Center sends those tents out every year.
And you see these people that have these really cool pictures of that. Yeah, most of those flowers, they're fake. Just to let you know, or they don't live in a climate area that gets over 80 to 90 degrees.
Gotcha.
You know, so if you're looking for that, you know, Hobby Lobby.
Colder climate.
Colder climate or Hobby Lobby.
Gotcha.
Great. And then you can have that look. It's outstanding. We learned the hard way.
Well, not everything you watch on HGTV works.
No.
No, it was on Reels.
Well, Reels will put anything on when they run out of autopsy shows and Cops Reloaded.
Facebook Reels.
Oh, those Reels.
Yeah, those Reels.
Not Reels channel.
No, not Reels channel. No, he watches the On Patrol Live on Reels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta lie, I was a mark for that, but too much of a good thing got me oversaturated. I'm like, all right, I'm just sitting here watching call after call. This is monotonous, man. I gotta stop.
But you know, I mean, in honesty, one of my really close friends, he was a PD officer here, and then he was the SO officer, and then he ended up going back home to Texas.
Yeah.
But he always told me, he was all like, you need to try for the police department, John. And I tell him, I don't have the mentality, and I mean that in all sincerity.
You got a lot of patience to
not.
get on.
Yeah, and I have zero.
Yeah.
You know, and you're combat vet. You do it. No.
Yeah.
No, I don't, because my thinking doesn't correlate with your guys' thinking.
You're like,
you know,
if you need SWAT people, they need to go wreck stuff.
Yeah,
I'm your man.
I'm your man.
But
Yeah.
if you want to talk people down and things, I'm not. Guy. Yeah.
If I go into a room and some child or woman is bleeding, the person who did it is going to be bleeding. That's my thinking.
Right.
Sorry, not. Hey, we're gonna.
This is why there's the difference between police training and military training.
Yeah,
they do not train for the same mission.
Yeah, because police training, you're trained to deal with all this. Military training, a bullet is a heck of a lot cheaper than it is to do all the paperwork.
Well,
So
once you
go
through basic training, you understand they're building you to be a certain way.
Yeah,
and that's what you're good at.
Yeah,
a lot of other things not so much, but that's another conversation for another day.
So, what's left for bulbs that they can still plant that's out there? I know it's too late for the tulips. The amethyst.
Amethyst.
I can't say it correctly.
Well, your paper whites came up late.
My paper whites barely got put in water.
I know, but they came up. They're coming up.
Yeah, but they're indoors, not outdoors.
Yeah. A lot of
there's still a ton of paper whites there, FYI.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Gotta have paper whites.
Yeah.
They smell so pretty when they bloom.
Oh, they're adorable.
Might be like, if you want to get into gardening and it's relatively easy and fun and maybe start with an indoor herb garden.
Yeah.
Like get you some a small, maybe if you want to get something big and do it that way, but literally just start growing some herbs, some sage or something, basil, something.
Yeah.
Something like that.
There's other herbs people grow indoors too.
I mean that one too.
We got fertilizers for that.
Yeah, Roswell C can help you there on that one.
Yes,
but,
and soil.
But I was thinking like chia.
A close friend of mine, when they lived here, his wife, she's one of those DIY people.
Yeah.
And she went to go throw the trash one time, and they threw a pallet. So she ended up taking the pallet and she got it apart. They're not easy to begin with. She got it apart and she built hangers and basically they were little herb garden hangers.
Okay.
And she had them in her kitchen. Yeah. So anytime she wanted some fresh thyme or cilantro, she just clip it off, and she was
I
like,
love those. Those are great ideas.
Yeah, but she was like one of those cordon bleu, chefs, where you just take a sprig,
Like,
she's
anything that comes in a jar is like Satan.
Satanism, yeah. She's kind of like her, she can take something and throw it in the toilet and make it taste good. It's kind of like, how do you do that?
Well, that's the beauty is that, I nothing against, Michelin chefs and what they do, but if you can make something delightful out of like a big tub of Velveeta cheese, I'm just saying. Who's the genius?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, it was kind of funny when you think back, because I used to think back in like my aunties and stuff like that. I mean, they cooked with one pot, and made 7-course meals with one pot in a pan. And you're just like, how do you do that?
Yeah.
Now you got, Chef Clad.
Right.
And, you got this.
I sourced this beef from the Andes Mountains from these cows that only pray at night, and it's like, oh my God.
How did you
Give
get
me my
your
brisket?
Yeah. Right. How did you get your meat? I hit it on the highway at 70.
I mean, they do this whole story. This only breathed the air of the altitude above 12,000 feet, which makes the meat that much softer. Like what?
Yeah.
Give me my meat. I know how to make it softer.
Whiskey's the same way, by the way.
Yeah.
All you whiskey snob. This floated on an ocean craft for 1 year in an oak barrel over the Pacific Ocean.
Toasted with honey infused.
That's why I could charge you $1,000 for
this barrel. Yeah.
The macrame hangers still got quite a bit of the.
We still have a couple of those left. Yeah.
And then a couple of the pots to go with it. There's a lot of some big ones, which I have not taken home any yet. But I did a little one and the little ones.
a macrame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're adjustable macrame hangers.
Yeah. And so if you have different hanging planters and stuff in sizes, they can adjust to different sizes.
Yeah. What size fits most?
Yeah, the ones so we have smalls for small pots, and then we have another one that'll fit medium to large pots.
Gotcha.
And then we have one that'll fit, basically
like my
a
two
tinker.
socks.
Yeah.
The one that'll fit, the plant or the potter, it's going to take two of you to lift up and hang, and it better be mounted into a 4x8.
Yeah, basically, it's like you better have that reinforced.
Yeah.
Because that macrame ain't gonna break, but I guarantee you your roof's gonna come in.
I feel like this is like the sandbags falling on the head at the show kind of deal.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see this year. We possibly are gonna have a new place to get bees. We're still kind of working on that. Price is still looking about the same as last year. Okay, that's what we're shooting for.
And that's what about springtime frame?
We're gonna start taking orders within about the next week.
Okay.
And
so
then,
the orders will start here quick, and then
Yes.
early spring's about when the bees will
Typically,
start.
it's the first or second
week. But
of
this
April.
new one, we're possibly looking towards more towards the end of the month, which I'm not really keen on.
Okay.
But it is what
the
it
weather
is.
Yeah. Well, last year when we went to go get bees, we came home to snow.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I'm not saying we won't do that this time.
no. But regardless, if it's not the new place, it's going to be with who we used to prior to Bee Weaver. So once we know who we're going to go with.
Bee Weaver?
Yeah, Bee Weaver.
Yeah, Bee Weaver. Yeah. So the place that we're looking at, they're not local, but they're state local. They're in New Mexico.
Gotcha.
They're a relatively new company. Sounds pretty good so far. Like what I've talked to him a couple times on the phone. He sounds like he knows what he's doing. We're gonna go take a look at it. Okay. So yeah, I'm taking Mama Bear to go look
Just
at
to
it.
be certain.
Yeah, and yeah, so you could go through and she's the one that she puts on the the
stamp of approval.
Yeah, the uniform and walks through and
Right.
is white glove and all that other stuff.
If you're not keeping your apiary right, then we're not getting bees.
That makes sense. I mean, it's kind of that's like not that much different in your other job with the pet adoption and everything else. If the you're pulling these animals out of deplorable
Well, I want to
conditions
make sure that we're not transporting bees that have mites or any type of infectious diseases
Sure.
to spread to the local beekeepers here.
Absolutely, and that's this is obviously like this is like the pecans and the pecan weevil. This is the type of stuff you're trying to prevent from happening.
Right.
And that kind of thing. So,
God, I'm so glad you lowered your standards before you got to me. Man, I can only imagine.
He has a point.
Just kidding. Can you move the camera for a minute? Shut the mic off. There's going to be a loud sound.
When did you start making good decisions as recently? No, I'm kidding.
So, ow! That is elder abuse. I'm older than you. Not by much, but I'm still.
The state of New Mexico defines elderly 15 years in difference. You're not 15 years my difference.
Ooh, there you go.
I could act like it.
She looked it up.
Yeah, that's pretty sad that she knows that.
Yeah, I gotta cover bases here. Hold on.
I'll tell you why off air why I know this.
State Ordinance CF 1002-5 states, you know.
I get it. I'm a guy who just carries useless information too. Sometimes you just know things.
It's, you know, and ironically, it's the weird facts that always stick in your head. Like, you read something and you're like, that's really weird to know. And then you can never get it out of your head. But the things you need to retain, you're like, I've read this 30 times. Why am I not remembering it?
Well, this is the part where people start hating you, because then you feel the need to share that information with everybody. And you start watching. Did you know that John Smith here really went to there? And you're like, no one cared. You know, it's like, it was actually, I was watching the new Landman last night. And have you seen it yet?
No.
This ain't spoiling alert or anything, but there's a scene where the lawyer guy is talking to Billy Bob, and they start talking about the Battle of Bunker Hill, and he goes, well, actually, the battle occurred on Breed's Hill, and it wasn't, Washington wasn't there. And that's when Billy Bob did Billy Bob on it.
Well, I laugh because, it's the stupid commercial when young people are turning into young homeowners are turning into their parents and stuff. And I'm sitting there watching, I'm laughing, but there's like been a couple of them. It's like
hitting too close to home.
Yeah, I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, and
what's wrong with thanking a guy for giving me good slice of deli meat?
Yeah,
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. I mean, the one of the packing of the groceries, that shot out the window. But it's just kind of like I kind of relate to this one right here.
The one I completely agree with is when they're at the gas station and the guy feels need to talk to everybody. Like, stop doing it. I hate that guy. Don't be that guy.
Yeah.
But that's my people. At the end of the day, that's who do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Because we're people. So, it's like the one that hit kind of close was he's waiting out front in the valet. Yeah. And he asked the guy, are you part of the hotel or And I'm like, wow, that's me right there. It's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah, those hit a little too close. A couple of them like, hey, this ain't right.
Yeah.
That's just sage advice right there. The guy's giving you, man. Come on.
I like the one where they're in the coffee shop and he's all, Jan?
Right.
Yan?
Yeah.
And then he's like, you don't work here. And he's like, but she needs her coffee.
Yeah.
Jan?
That's right.
Yan? And I'm like, move, don't touch my coffee.
Well, clearly the barista's not doing their job.
Yeah, true.
You help them out.
To handle business.
No, I'm just laughing because, that would be me. Somebody, you have my coffee, thank you.
To be honest, I bet that guy's vet. That's a vet move. All right, get your stupid coffee.
Yeah. But it would be us doing that.
You're holding up the line
But
here.
Crystal would be like, that's not how you spell the bill,
Yeah. Yeah, we're just like, I'm tired of gumming up the works here. Let's get this expedited.
We're trying to move things along. She's got a spelling bee going on. Where do these people learn how to spell? Who cares?
Right.
It says Phoebe. No, it doesn't. Close enough.
That's still one of my favorite bits is the Key and Peele, when they do there's the one that kind of got famous with the teacher and the Ron.
Oh, yeah.
But there's the one where they do like the Sunday Night Football where they do the players are announcing their states and the names just get more and more ridiculous as the day goes on. Those are my favorites still.
I love...
you should hear me trying to pronounce some of the names during the football games. I'm like, that's who?
Yeah.
That's not how that should be spelled. And then I was having fun with the woozy last night. I was like, I'm feeling a little bit a woozy,
Yeah. Have you ever seen like the bad lip reading on YouTube? Oh my gosh.
I haven't seen like one in a minute.
They died out, but I mean, I remember.
I kind of look forward to the annual NFL one every year.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice.
Oh man.
Something I look forward to.
Well, we could clearly read Aaron Rodgers' lips last night with some of the things he was saying. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, guys in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, say what you will.
Say what you will. Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm laughing because he's talking to his own dudes and he's like,
Yeah. Well, they weren't getting the ball.
No, I know.
He wasn't throwing great passes either, but
I
ain't
gonna lie.
They were catchable.
I feel kind of bad for that Baltimore kicker. Like I'm.
Oh
like, I feel
man.
bad. Like the guy.
He looked like he was 10 years
Yeah,
old
he
and
looked-
came to work with his dad.
Yeah, he does look like a child, but
Yeah.
maybe that's why I felt bad for him. Like, oh, poor guy.
Poor
What a
guy.
sucker.
I mean, he was because he was crying. You know.
He's
I mean,
like,
you know.
he's like, I'm gonna get fired.
Someone needs an ice cream cone.
Yeah. You can pretty much
A
he's-
little bit of squirt of Bailey's in
Yeah.
it to make you feel better.
He was bullied. You know. I mean, he knows what's gonna happen when he gets into the locker room.
Well,
you know.
Kickers are like hockey goaltenders. They're a little crazy.
Yeah.
Not as
on
crazy as hockey goaltenders.
They're off on their own.
Yeah,
Yeah. They're not really like.
Yeah.
They're not like brought in
They're
by the
built
team.
different.
Yeah, they're just they're off talking to their imaginary friends.
Goalies
or,
are
you
way
know.
worse, but kickers have that same id. They're in the same ballpark. Pitchers kind of do too, but nowhere near a hockey goalie. Hockey goalies are they're the only people getting 100-mile-an-hour vulcanized rubber shot at them.
Right.
And they're standing
And
in
they're
the way on
standing.
purpose.
They want to.
And they're doing it for fun.
Yeah. I mean, you know.
They're just built different.
Yeah. Goalies talk to
By the
things.
way, I used to play goalie, so
Yeah.
it speaks a lot.
Yeah, y'all talk to things, you know, that aren't there. It's
Hey,
like, you know,
I
hey,
think the goalpost many a time.
I imagine, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, this is the greatest goalpost in the world.
I'm not really by nature a superstitious person, but when I played, I had to come out. I had to hit the boom. I had a certain routine when I approached the net. I'll tell you what it is. This is really sad, but it is. I had the goals. I'm a lefty, so my goal stick was in my left hand. I come up to the left side of the pole. I go inside, hit, outside, top side, underside, inside, outside.
Right.
On the pole. That's my routine. Every time I approach the goal in between periods, when it's my new net, that's how I greet it.
I was laughing because I forgot who it was that they were talking about.
Yeah.
One of the old goalies, and he says right before the puck drop, the whole place would be silent, and they said all you'd hear is his stick just clang, clang.
Ron Hextall.
Hextall, that's right, yeah.
Sexy Hexy,
And then
yeah.
everybody just stay, and he said, man, he goes, you just get like this eerie chill the way the sound was.
He
and
was
he'd do it-
intimidating.
He'd do it on
did
purpose.
it to intimidate.
Oh,
He-
yeah.
Put it this way. Ron Hextall was the Dale Earnhardt of NHL goaltending. He just... He was a decent goalie, but he was salted and all get out.
They made rules for because of him.
I'll never forget
know?
the moment that he was mad at Chris Chelios, and Chelios skated to the corner. Hextall hauled off and took his blocker pad and assaulted him. Straight up assaulted him. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
It was like he was going to wave off, and he just mugged him with the blocker. Oh, amazing. Good
I always laugh at that because the goalies are always the protected.
Yeah.
They got the most padding of everybody. Why are they so protected? Who cares?
The only
You
other
know?
goalie that I know off the top of my head that was perhaps as evil or as not evil, but as you mess with was Billy Smith. He was a goaltender for the Islanders back when they won their cups in the 80s. And
Oh, okay.
Billy Smith. Matter of fact, he's the first goalie to be credited with scoring a goal.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Several have done it since. He
Yeah.
was the first guy to do it. Back when he played for the Colorado Rockies, which they don't exist anymore.
Right.
But Billy Smith was like, I'll never forget. This is when we played for the Islanders. I was watching. They were playing the Flyers, and it was a game on TV, and it was a TV game that you see Billy Smith's in net, and they're showing that end of the ice, and there's a Flyers dude next to Billy, kind of giving them the business, and you see him sitting there, and so the camera cuts away to follow the puck, comes back to that way. Next thing you know, you see Billy Smith still sitting there like this. That dude sprawled out on the ground. Like, he just found out from Billy Smith why you don't do that.
Yeah. Oh my God.
FAFO'd.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got way off tangent on that.
Yeah.
But
we're probably going to get kicked off air soon.
yeah, I got about 3 minutes, so we need to wrap up.
I can't think
Stay
Still
reminded,
winter
I was going
hours.
to go into another story. So
Still winter hours, half days on Saturdays.
Yes.
Monday through Friday.
Probably do that for another month or two here, right?
Yeah,
Probably
roughly.
around March, maybe. Probably. end of
I'm
February.
hoping it's going to be a little sooner than March, but
Okay.
just depending. It's going to be depending on the weather.
Yeah.
It's
much like other farming and everything
Yeah.
else.
Mother Nature.
Weather dictates what we're doing it. So.
If you still want some spring bulbs to plant, possibly could plant them now and they could come up in spring. Don't know. Try it, find out. Ton of
One
bulbs.
spring. It may not be this spring, but what spring?
Well,
I mean, if
no,
you get them in
because he planted some and then they didn't go the first spring, and then
Sure.
the second spring he's like, oh yeah, I forgot we planted those, and we had flowers. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Bonus.
Yeah.
So-
I mean, they're in the ground. I mean, yeah.
Sometimes the recipe takes a little longer to kind of congeal there and happen. So, but that being said, if you have any questions about anything, when to plant, when not to plant, hold, what to plant, where to plant it, please don't hesitate. Come by Roswell Seed. That's what they do. This is what they do. And of course, if you're wanting to talk about your lawn and stuff, and they'll be help. Obviously this time of year there's certain types of grasses and things. You just let it do its thing. But there's some, like you said, some pre-gaming you can do to set the table for when you start throwing this stuff down here in a few months.
Little stuff.
Yeah. But anyway, any questions about that? Come by Roswell Seed. That's what they do. Come by or call.
We got free calendars.
All right.
Yeah. And books.
Yeah, the almanacs, right? In that time of the year.
No, we didn't get almanacs this year.
No almanacs this year?
I don't know what happened. Huh. I didn't do it, so I couldn't tell you.
Okay.
I left that up to upper management.
I just work here.
I was dealing with the other 63 things that I have to deal with.
Yeah, bigger fish to fry.
Yeah.
Or bigger pumpkins to roast or something.
I leave the Carl moments for, up top there.
But, and then of course, I know it's a little light on holiday seasons, but believe it or not, I imagine you can find a few romantic gifts at, I know Crystal would definitely appreciate a few Valentine's Day gifts from Roswell Seed Company. Just saying, there's romance potential there if you think outside the box.
Feeding my roses.
There you go.
Feed.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, Valentine's is coming up.
It is. It is the official next fake holiday.
I'm going to get you
Next fake holiday?
Yeah. I'm going to get you.
You know what's even sadder? I had to go to Walmart over the weekend. They have Valentine's and then Easter side by side. So you got your heart-shaped Reese's and then your bunny-shaped Reese's. And I was like, huh.
So I'm going to get you a bag of composted manure.
Ooh.
There we go.
All right.
That'll help your roses.
Mm-hmm.
It won't.
It's kind of like coal at Christmas. People are like, you poop on that, but you seen the price of coal right now?
Yeah. You better burn that.
We'll be cooking.
Right?
Yeah.
Very good. Well, thank you guys
Thank you.
very much.
Well, thank you.
And Happy New Year. And we'll see you guys here. And like I said, if you have any questions, and of course, while Crystal's here, if you're looking to make a loving home for pets, come on by and see them. They've got quite a few that are looking for you like you're looking for them. So,
Yep.
Good deal. Well, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Enjoy the warm weather.
Yeah.
For the next
Go ahead and do a
hour.
little sunbathing this afternoon.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to be stripping the long sleeve off.
I'm regretting the long sleeve shirt right now. I'm already like, this long shirt was a bad choice.
Just switchy spots in the mornings.
Yeah, so I'll be shirtless by this afternoon. Sorry, neighbors. All right. Hey, like I got pants on.
Yeah.
That's next. That's going to do it for us. Have an amazing day. Thank you so much for allowing us to be a part of it. We'll be back bright and early, 7 a.m. tomorrow with an all-new show. I know Walker Aviation, I think they'll be joining us in the 7 o'clock hour. I've slept since then. That's all I remember. Have a good day. You're listening to